Tonight, it's Out of Nowhere, episode 124. That's right, episode 124 of Out of Nowhere, the Out of Nowhere Wrestling Podcast. On YouTube since 2015 or 14, I don't remember. But we're ready tonight, baby. It's going to be a big show tonight. It's going to be a big show tonight. There's a whole bunch of shit to talk about. WWE Crown Jewel, SmackDown beating Raw in the ratings. What was the SmackDown rating? I thought it might be about a 3.1. We're going to find out what it actually was. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Will JD return? And I'm talking about JD from New York return. Will he return? The answer's coming up. This is Out of Nowhere, episode 124. A bunch of wrestling news to talk about. Huge shock tonight on NXT. We'll wait till later to discuss that slightly, really quickly. We'll talk about it, but we won't do spoilers. We don't want to spoil anybody, but I will have my NXT review up on Patreon later tonight. This could be the last episode of Out of Nowhere on YouTube. Will it be the last episode Out of Nowhere on YouTube? Will we take Out of Nowhere to Patreon? That may be something that we decide tonight, depending on what happens. Thanks for watching. Get ready. We got Connor from Kayfabe in the house, and Jake DeMarco's here as well. Is JD going to show up? Find out next. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Out of Nowhere, episode 124. Holy shit. Take your pants off. Batista. Triple H set to square off perhaps at WrestleMania 35. Maybe. We'll see. And if it is, we'll be in New York for WrestleMania. So it'll be a pretty crazy time. If that's the case and that's what happens, we'll see. Pretty hot right now, man. I'm ready to go. This is I'm fired up. We got Jake DeMarco on the phone and Connor from Kayfabe, youtube.com/OKFaber. And we're hot, man. Let me just lower this volume. Connor, what's up, man? How you doing, Connor?
Doing pretty good. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good there, buddy. How you doing, man? Yeah. Holy shit. We're going to talk about the SmackDown ratings, the Raw ratings, your mom's ratings. Jake, how you doing, bro? Have a couple tranquilizers today?
More than a couple. What's going on?
That sucks.
Here. Ready to party.
Yeah, you look like you're ready for a stroke.
Did you see me kick off Braun Strowman's head?
Yeah, I did see that. That's a pretty evil shot there you had.
That shit was funny.
It was funny when he almost died.
That was the highlight.
That was for me. I'm all in. I'm a supporter of death. Did you know that?
How could you not be? How could you not be?
I'm a big supporter of death, man. I'm a huge
now that
supporter.
Turkey leaked those audio files, you know.
Has anyone heard them? I've been trying to find them.
I have not heard them yet. I am. It's you know that suspicion, you know, that curious nature that we have. I think we know, but it's pretty vile and disgusting. So
it sounds like to me.
Bonesaw, I said Joe calls it.
Oh yeah, they reported Bonesaw. Like they reported Bonesaw. That's why I didn't just come up with
initially.
That. Yeah, I mean I don't know why they used a fucking Bonesaw. But
and then the doctor that they brought with him, the specialist there, tells everybody, oh, just listen to music, put in earbuds, it makes it easier. You're able to disconnect better. That's fantastic.
Sick, weird shit.
Imagine the audio leaks. It's like, well, we can't hear the actual audio, but we do have a fan recreation, and they played Joe's audio.
Yeah, I have the audio. I already played it for everybody. I leaked it already. If y'all were listening, come on, man. These people got to listen.
We're on top of it.
Will this be the last night out of nowhere on YouTube? I don't know. We're going to find out. How's everybody doing? Fuck and take your pants off, bros. How's everybody doing?
Brings it won't be. We're ready to fucking rock.
I'm trying to watch the Red Sox game here, too. What the fuck? I accidentally turned the TV off, though. I just should have fucking turned the volume down. That'd probably be a good idea. You know who?
You can't watch the game if you can't see it.
Oh, man, I hit the Red Sox are still in the playoffs. You know who's not in the playoffs? The fucking Braves. Sorry. And oh my God, I'm sorry. They're not in the playoffs. So the question, will JD return tonight for this episode of Out of Nowhere? Out of Nowhere. Will JD return tonight on Out of Nowhere?
Uh-oh.
I reached out to JD and I said, listen, JD, we'd like to have you stop by. Let's stop by for a few minutes. Let's talk it out. Hell, he would never invite me to his show. He would certainly never invite me to his show. He'd never have me on his channel. But I said, rah, rah, yeah, Red Sox home run, yeah, let's fucking go, let's fucking go, already. Let's fucking go, Houston.
We're all about focus here.
He would never have me on his channel.
Right where you left off.
But I went out and I invited him to Out of Nowhere. And I asked
our show.
And I asked JD, yes or no, would you like to make an appearance tonight on Out of Nowhere episode 124? And JD said, did JD say yes? No. Did JD say no? No. He said absolutely nothing. That's what JD said. I sent him text messages. We had talked a week prior. I sent him other messages. Not one message. The Red Sox go deep again. Back to the wall, but it's a catch. What a catch in the outfield. Another one made by the Houston Astros. It could have been a devastating 7-5 lead, but instead the Astros get out of the inning with excellent defense. But the Red Sox go up 6-5. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
I'm wired right now. So JD said 0. He refused to respond to me, and that is that. He refused to come here on this show. He basically refused to answer. No anything. Months ago, he said we'll do something. I asked to be on his show. That would never happen. I asked him to come on here. And for multiple times, he no-sold me on that. If I message him about something else, he responds if it's about him. But that's it. There's your answer. Anyway, did anyone expect anything else?
The olive branch has been extended and burnt.
We have JD already here. Jake DeMarco.
Here's Jake DeMarco.
Right.
So there you go. That's all there was. Nothing bad. Nothing good. Just a lot of people wanted to know that. So there you go. It was a lot of fun. By the way, NXT tonight. NXT storyline tonight. And I won't say what it is if you haven't seen it. NXT storylines tonight.
Beautiful.
Better than anything on the main roster.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. And then everything that, the tapings, obviously, we heard a lot about, too. And we won't go into all that. We try and avoid spoilers. But
You know what blows my mind is that NXT, which is mostly a taped show, still does better than 2 live shows a week.
Yeah.
Creatively. You know what I mean? Like, even though you know what's going to happen, it's still, creative writing-wise, is some of the better stuff compared to the main roster shows.
I had problems with my network today because I was waiting in the doctors forever, just sitting there, and I wanted to watch the UK NXT, and it just kept disconnecting. I wasn't able to watch it. It just kept disconnecting. I would get into it. It would do the little like 10-second like intro song that plays.
Those damn Brits crushed the site.
Yeah, I think there were just too many people trying to tune in at once.
I haven't seen it yet, but what I've heard is amazing stuff.
People said it was fantastic. I've heard
it's pretty good. I mean,
things.
it's not like, don't overblow it, because I don't think it's like the most insane, amazing thing ever. It's just good. It's just good. It's a good episode. It's good.
But what more do we need than solid entertainment at this point?
Right, and it's better, man. I'm gonna hit the donation button, see what's up tonight.
Super Chat Party.
We got Mark McGurk in the house. What's up, Mark?
Mark McGurk.
You might be one of your relatives there. Ah, man.
If you can throw a Claymore kick, and I think we'll be in good shape.
Well, I would never try to throw a Claymore kick in my day. I would sit next to Vince McMahon. I'd throw a nasty line or two. You know what?
You did that so well.
My words could hurt somebody more than a Claymore kick. That's something none of these wrestlers can do now. Back in my day, if you said something, somebody might have cried over it. Nowadays, you cry watching it.
Cry laughing.
Broken Lion. What's up, Broken Lion?
Wanna see you naked, but give me that Superman punch in my rectum.
It's my favorite song. It's my favorite one.
I don't care if your whole fist goes up my asshole. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
Hey Joe, Jake, Jesse, and Connor from feed Tommy.
Oh my God!
Chocolate till the diabetes kills Tom kayfabe. Joe, I meant to tell you this when I called in Monday, but congrats on getting married. But I thought SmackDown was okay.
Yeah, I could see how you could maybe think, like, SmackDown was so weird that it went by quick. So I could see somebody saying maybe it's okay, but I don't agree. I thought it was a discombobulated mindfucker rushed shit.
We called it last week that's what.
Right.
And when you hear everything that happened backstage and how much they had to change on the fly,
right?
It's holy God, they were in pure chaos backstage.
Did anyone and thanks for donating $14, Broken Line, desperately trying to keep out of nowhere on YouTube. I was really cringed when Vicky and all them were yelling, and then John Laurinaitis comes in, people power. I was like, this is fucking retarded, dude. I mean,
he said he's trying to call in as well. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off there.
What's the matter with people power? Johnny Ace brought people power to SmackDown. Oh God, fuck! And the white suit just makes me feel like he's a racist.
Yeah, big time.
People penis.
I'm trying to find it now. I have so many. If I'm not in the chat much, I apologize. My computer's being really funky tonight since one of the Windows updates. But yeah, so Batista didn't arrive at the venue until 7:40 p.m. Rey Mysterio and Nakamura was originally scheduled to open the show. They shuffled that around and moved a couple segments right as the show went live. Right as they were showing the retrospective, they were still editing and changing the arrangement. So then they decided to have R-Truth open up the show. So as they were going ahead and having everybody, in the audience see the great moments from the other 1,000 episodes of SmackDown, Vince said, you know what, forget it, send R-Truth out there.
Oh my God.
So that's why we didn't see R-Truth's entrance. So R-Truth's segment was scheduled for later in the show. The Undertaker was always scheduled to close the show.
Right.
However, it was supposed to be much longer and with his brother Kane.
It was 4 minutes, so I mean the entrance alone.
Why wasn't Kane there? Because of the entrance, Kane wasn't there, or
they don't know. Kane was supposed to be at the taping but didn't show.
What?
Mayoral duties.
They don't know what had happened. I don't have any update to it at this point in time.
I was elected.
Christian was supposed to be there, as he was announced previously for the Cutting Edge segment. But there's no indication why he wasn't actually there.
So he has 2 no-shows?
Zack Ryder was backstage, had a planned segment, but that was scrapped for time. The Miz's match was always scheduled to be very short. It was supposed to be a 3 to 5 second thing, so that was as it was supposed to. WWE cut time out of Mysterio's match against Nakamura, as well as Mysterio's entrance. And the Undertaker was supposed to say a lot more, but between him walking to the ring and everything that happened, and that actually got voted one of the top 5 worst, or not worst, but pointless Undertaker promos.
He didn't say shit.
Why did...
they said between appearances and promos, this was one of the top 5 worst times for the Undertaker.
That was the problem. They crammed so much shit into 2 hours. If they made it like 3, maybe they would have had it better.
Why is their efficiency? I don't know what it is, guys, but it's almost like because they've started doing 3-hour shows, that it's like they've become retarded with they can't with time. Like they really can't. Like, I don't want to knock them for time because they are like the most efficient. I don't think anybody will ever or could ever do like the timing as good as WWE. They time things usually like as far as getting it all in pretty much, and like coming off smooth and getting off the air at the right time. They do an amazing job of that. But as far as, you know, dividing up the time the best way, I feel like that is just all off. I feel like that is really wrong. Like, they are amazing at starting a show and ending a show and the breaks, and it's amazingly difficult to do what they do. But it feels like that New Day match, why in the world? I know they probably thought, like, that's going to be our match, but why wouldn't you not even book the New Day and Cesaro and them? Why wouldn't you have those guys in, like, a backstage segment or a preview for next week, and then have Rey Mysterio and Shinsuke get 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And then let the Undertaker,
my mind.
and then give the Undertaker 5 minutes. So there's your time right there. You cut the tag team match, and you have the Undertaker have 5-minute match. You have Rey Mysterio and Shinsuke maybe get 12 minutes. And
then they cut the James Ellsworth segment as well. They put that up on WWE's YouTube. I've yet to watch it, honestly, but
so the thing that like blew that to Joe's point is like the whole timing thing is that they announced so much shit for the show that they kind of like shot themselves in the foot. Like, it's one thing, like usually on like a Raw or SmackDown preview, they announce maybe 4 things, like maybe 2 matches and 2 like main storylines. And so you have like some fluffer and filler, and you have some, you know, stuff that you kind of like bounce around or cut or do a rearrange or whatever, or push to next week. But like they crammed, like they announced so much shit, like Evolution, Rey Mysterio, this match, Undertaker, like so much like just crap just piled into one show that they couldn't like back down from anything or rearrange anything, that they had to push it through.
Yeah, and you know what the funny part is, too, is that obviously the Evolution promo stood out as the best moment from SmackDown 1000.
Yeah.
And that was their first time on SmackDown. You know, like, if you really think about it, that was the group's first appearance on SmackDown as a whole unit.
I remember Evolution when they were on SmackDown, never.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, as far as anniversary shows goes, they announced everything. Too bad they couldn't have kept Rey Mysterio under wraps, or at least that he was having a match.
Did they do a tribute to Eddie Guerrero?
No.
Yeah. Why not?
They
have
showed
like
a little bit of him in the pre-package, but there was no surprises last night. I feel like we got a thing here or there with Raw 25.
Most of the time I bitch and moan about 3-hour shows with Raw, but I felt like this would have been a one exception where, like, if you're going to put so much like just crap into one show, you might as well give us the extra hour.
That would have been perfect, because that would have been another 40 minutes, and, you know, because 20 for commercials, that would have given more time to the Nakamura match, more time to the Miz's match. AJ's match could have used a little bit extra, you know, so that it would have been nice to even have, you know, the women showcase better. And I
honestly I would have taken like rapid fire ridiculousness on this show.
Yeah, versus what we got.
Yeah, as opposed to like the slowing down to a tag match, the long intro. Although the intro, not that I didn't love it. I just think it was okay, so I'll pass it. Like, fine, it was cheesy.
It's hard to hate Vince and seeing him back. And,
yeah,
like, anytime he's on screen, you just
Stephanie's boobs, and she got booed.
Yeah, Carmella in that dress that she couldn't even move in. It was so short. Yeah, you know, I mean. The whole dance segment, though, thing, like, you're like, all right, whatever, fine. It just doesn't have the same feel as, like, Raw 25, which, unfortunately, you have to compare it to. They're both anniversary shows. They both happened this year. And what do you get from it? Stone Cold comes out and stuns everybody. This, we get a quick dance break with R-Truth. Like, it just doesn't have the same weight.
I tweeted how silly it was. Well, let's talk about before I get to the donations again. By the way, if you want to get your donations in, guys, The link is down below in the description box, the Streamlabs link, and then all the way at the bottom, if you expand the description box on your phone or your computer or wherever you are, tablet, if you expand the description box, all the donation amounts are listed. There's even a few Super Chat special alerts for Super Chat, should you want a Super Chat versus using Streamlabs. Super Chat takes 30%, Streamlabs only takes 3% total, so if you want your money to go better, Streamlabs is better, but either way is fine. We'll look at your Super Chats tonight. Make sure to ask questions, say whatever you want to say in your donations so we can respond to it for you about wrestling or about whatever you want. Want to talk about Aunt Jemima and if she's a hot sex symbol for pancakes? We'll do that too if you want. I don't care. A bunch of stuff is up on my Patreon as well. Thanks to Carlos B for signing up on Patreon. $5 a month, cancel anytime. 30 hours of bonus content on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Tonight we're going to decide if Out of Nowhere actually goes to Patreon. That may be something that happens in the $5 tier, and I may bring State of the WWE to YouTube again in a recorded half-hour or so segment that gets uploaded, and then I may do a non-wrestling show on Wednesdays. That depends on what happens. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you for that. We'll play them in a second. As far as SmackDown goes, my prediction was wrong, but it's actually, I gave them more credit. My prediction was that SmackDown would draw a 3.1. A 3.1. And would therefore beat Raw. Now, SmackDown reportedly did beat Raw. SmackDown did beat Raw.
Yeah, I have the final numbers here.
But only with a, what, Jake?
It was a 2.545. So,
dude, who would think that the celebration of SmackDown would beat Raw? But it would be in a 2.5. And the average
was a 2.277. So.
And not a 3, dude. Not a 3.
Wah, wah, wah.
That is incredibly horrifying.
They're down 9% from last year, 9.7%. And the thing is, Raw 25 drew at its, 3-hour,
as it should. They were at the
4.5.
They were at the Manhattan Center. They had the DX stuff. They had NWO. They had all kinds of shit. So as it should. But holy fuck, dude, 4.5 for Raw 25.
It had a 4.8, but the conglomerate of all 3 hours was a 4.5. Their top was a 4.8.
Oh, okay.
And the thing was though, that
Raw leaned on a lot of nostalgia too, and I mean a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, SmackDown did as well, but Raw had a lot more going for it in the sense of we hadn't seen The Undertaker, up until that point since he lost against Roman. So people weren't sure if he was going to announce his retirement. Like there was so much, mystery around what was going to happen there. So that was a key point, even though he came out and he gave a very underwhelming and very bizarre promo that no one knew what the hell to make of it. Couldn't make head or tails of what he said.
Here's my question.
So
let me ask you this. Why in the world didn't they book Undertaker and Kane to make an announcement at SmackDown rather than have them appear on Raw and then on SmackDown?
Why have them agree to the match yet? This should have been where the match was made.
Yeah,
they should have said Undertaker and Kane to react to Triple H and Shawn Michaels on SmackDown 1000 tomorrow night. That would have made... I guarantee you, instead of a 2.5, they would at least had a 2.8 had they said that.
Yeah.
And that's not a big deal, but it's just kind of like little things like, what? Why did they do that?
That's 300,000 people. Every little bit helps at this point. When you have 7 million people tuning in to watch the death of Roseanne, it says a lot.
I didn't watch it. Fuck that show now.
No, there's no
Dude,
chance
did you hear Roseanne on Joe Rogan? Roseanne is like a sad mess because those people turn their backs on her.
Every one of them too.
All the people of that show turn their backs on her. She's like, I'm not, and I don't want to get into that, but it's like, that's fucked up, dude. Like, she's on an island by herself. Joe Rogan's going to bat for her. Like, I know you're not a racist. You're kind of an idiot, like on Twitter, but I know you're not really a racist. And Joe Rogan is saying this, and she's just kind of like a fuckhead. And all the people on her show were just like, oh, get away, like, fuck her, like, fuck that, Dude, there's fucking some black people standing up for Roseanne, but the people on the show, so fuck, dude, fuck that show. I hope the fucking whole cast gets in a fucking bus fire on the way to the
South Park made fun of it just so perfectly last week. Mr. Hanky, the talking piece of Christmas shit, kept tweeting out god-awful things about different people in the town. And when they would confront him, he was like, "It was a joke. I was tired. I took some Ambien. You don't know what you tweet on Ambien." Like he would.
I just told my mother to die because I'm on Ambien.
Did you call the kids talentless fags? He's like, "You ever take Ambien before? I was really sleepy." And just so good.
Dude, if you watch Roseanne on Rogan, I mean, she's fucked up. She's like,
oh, she's lost it at this point. But stress will do it to you, you know. But that's the thing, you know. I was really underwhelmed.
Did she OD on Ambien?
I was really underwhelmed by the show.
Mom died on Ambien in the hospital. Dan, bring me my Ambien.
Well,
you know what it is? I know how they could have wrote it. They could have wrote it like this. Here's how I would have booked it. The last episode of Roseanne, the original series when it aired in the 90s, the last episode, you find out everything's a lie and she wrote her memoirs or something. So here's the thing. The family finds the memoirs and she died after that. And the family found the memoirs, and then they were angry about that. So then they got mad at her. So then they wrote that she dies. How about that? Like Dan's upset.
Instead they said she died of a accidental opiate overdose. And
did they?
Yeah, they said it was her prescription painkiller addiction.
Oh my God!
What? Not even kidding. Yeah.
Wow, as if they couldn't fuck her over anymore.
That's why she's so upset and like.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
I need to find this.
ABC, you cucked up SJW faggots at ABC. I hope you die. I hope Mickey dies. I hope Disney dies. I hope one of these. I hope you fucking let in some happy immigrant and he blows up Disneyland. Leah, what? Do you know how she dies?
They said it was a respectful send-off. The writers. She said Roseanne Barr may not be happy about the way her character was killed off on the Connors, but the show's writers believe it was a respectful send-off.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
They said she died of an accidental opiate overdose. Because remember how they kept talking earlier? Because I was watching when the show came back, and she was bitching about how her meds were so expensive. So her and Dan in one scene, remember they were sharing pills? Like, I'll give you one of my heart medications for one of your knee medications and stuff like that. Well, they basically made it out to sound like she just, took too much and had a painkiller overdose.
But she was going into a surgery. Why didn't they just have her die in surgery?
Because why not give one more fuck you to Roseanne on the way out?
Oh,
apparently.
That's so fucked up, dude.
By the way, you're a druggie. Here you go.
Ready? Watch this. This is how Roseanne. This is how Roseanne died when she was on the medications. Right here. Look at this. Sorry. I'm sorry. Let me play some donations. Holy, what the fuck?
Fuck yeah, I got everyone's addresses, Mon. I got everyone's fucking addresses,
I lowered it.
Put JD and Tomingon at the same time. YouTube may shut down again tonight. The feline Fooker and the Chester the Killer Clown cosplayer.
Oh my God. Nick Wolf, thank you, man. I wish I could put those bastards on together. That would be something fun to watch.
That was weird that YouTube crashed like that.
Yeah, it was YouTube, dude. That was weird. YouTube down yesterday. We were live on Twitch. Dude, we had 580, about 600 people at one point watching on Twitch. That was the record for me on Twitch. That was nuts. Dude, I grew up watching Roseanne and like Star Trek, all that 90s stuff. So like, I loved it, man. I loved all of it. The best thing about Roseanne, even this Roseanne, was like how it was inclusion and stuff, including everybody. It was so fun.
Fuck yeah, I got everyone's addresses, Mon. I got everyone's fucking addresses, Mon.
When Raw and Smackdown set bar to JD height, can't blame us for getting pumped up for NXT. Love to Joe and fellow Lovey Tubbies, Jake and Ookfabe.
Thank you, Wild Panther. Oh man, there's always a small guy somewhere. Thank you, Wild Panther, for the $5 super chat, man. You know, how come nobody's saying that Roseanne Barr could be an alien? You know, everybody always says that, like, somebody has been replaced by aliens or something. Like, Eminem was replaced in '99. This guy was replaced. Kanye West was replaced. This guy was replaced. How come no one's saying that maybe Roseanne is a fucking robot? You know, that, like, back in, like, mid-'90s, they abducted her and replaced her. And she's misfiring.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah, the ironic thing is drugs are actually fucking her up in real life.
Party.
WWE is trash. Best part was guy with Arsenal Singh.
WWE's trash. Best part was guy with Arsenal Singh, yeah. Gooner Chiefs fan, thank you for the $4 super chat. Gooner. What's up, Gooner? I'm giving you the thumbs up. I am getting married Saturday. So, yes, Thursday night throwdown, 10 p.m. Same time tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, same deal. Monetize this. We're going to start early Friday night. Maybe at 10.
Early show.
Maybe 10 o'clock on Friday night for Monetize This. Be here this Friday, 10 o'clock. Because...
Shit, I get your registry gift.
No, fuck you. There's no gifts.
Yeah, and here you were saying last night, you made me chuckle because you were like, oh, I'll never get
They
partnered.
embarrass us in front of MMA Moai.
Mass tweet WWE, they embarrass us in front of MMA. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Toilet, I agree. Fucking toilet. Chiefs fan, thank you, man.
I hope next year for the 20th anniversary of SmackDown they bring more people back in. Stop being cheap assholes and bring back the fist for the show, and The Rock needs to be there.
You know, Broken Lion, thanks for the 316, Broken Lion. You know, I think they tried. I just don't think they could get anybody. Or, I mean, maybe they didn't try hard enough, but it just seems like they couldn't get anybody.
I don't think they tried that hard from what I've been reading. It doesn't seem like they, it doesn't seem like they were really going nuts.
For SmackDown, it wasn't bad, but for like the 1000th SmackDown, I was like, no.
Well, that's the thing, and it didn't seem like they were going after The Rock and people of the such like as hard as they should have been.
No.
I mean, you know when the date is. This isn't something that just happens, you know. And it's
now,
like,
if SmackDown,
a new victory.
But if SmackDown 1000 had been in Saudi Arabia, they would have gotten The Rock for sure. You've been there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because then money talks.
Well, because then they could have used the Saudis' money. That's the thing.
Well, exactly. That's why Sean's coming out of retirement.
Just don't use that bathroom in the government building.
Before we get into the Saudi thing, too, you know, that Fortnite streamer Trihex was banned for saying faggot. That's right.
On Twitch?
On Twitch.
Wow.
He's a partnered streamer, and he called his friend a fag. Actually, he didn't say fag. He said fag. Called his friend sitting in the room with him a fag, and guess what? Done for.
Like his whole Twitch is gone?
Banned Twitch streamer defends slur, but says language has evolved. You know, it's apparently he didn't double down. He apologized immediately and you know, defended himself in the sense that, you know, he had an immediate apology, but over the weekend his channel was banned. So I haven't heard anything else about it, but you know, he had a big following and poof, you're gone. So
I told you Twitch is
you had said last night, you're like, oh, I'll never get partnered, and I'm like, oh yeah. Nope.
Yeah, yeah. They honestly, if you're a small time Twitcher, you're okay, because they don't give a fuck. But because you're not on the radar. But if you become a big Twitcher, the bigger you get on Twitch, you can't do that. You can't do it. Twitch has words they ban you for. You know, Twitch.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I just saw that Crown Fool logo. That's great.
You like that?
That's great.
It's for sale right now.
So
I mean,
good.
honestly, I don't know if there's a fund for the journalist that's dead. But in all seriousness, if anybody bought this crazy fucking shirt, I don't know if there's a fund for this guy. I'm going to look. Maybe there will be a fund for the guy and his family. Maybe they're rich and they don't need a fund. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to donate the money. If anybody and we'll donate it live so people know we did it. Fucking, that's always a problem, it seems like.
Yeah, you could do it towards
it's not going to make any money. No one's like 5 people might buy it. I don't know. But if anybody does buy this, because I did want to put it up, I think it's funny. I would donate the money to the guy. I mean, sure, here's $15, but I mean, not that helps that much, but you know, just out of principle, because it's weird that we're selling that.
I'm sure there's some type of civil rights group that can use the money, you know,
something like that. Yeah, something like that, because it's weird, it's wrong, it's funny, but it's like, dude, somebody might have been hacked up while alive. That is so fucking gross and fucked.
It's not even crazy. Might have been anymore. I mean, we haven't heard the audio leaks, but apparently he had an iWatch on. Yeah, he had an iWatch on, and that was hooked up to his phone, and his fiance, I guess, still had the phone outside, and that was able to transmit the data. That's what they're saying. I guarantee the consulate that he was in was bugged, and that's why Turkey's having a hard time turning over the audio files, because they don't want to get in trouble for it. But it's all, I mean, they have direct transcripts out there. You can read everything that was said and done up to this point. And it's absolutely vile and heinous what this man had to endure. You're going there to pick up a piece of paper for your wedding, you know, your upcoming nuptials, and then this is what you have to deal with. I mean, awful, awful. And they're trying to protect the prince from Saudi, you know, saying that he had no knowledge or involvement. But
looks like JD posted on Twitter, No, I have not spoken about him. The fact that he posted this is quite sad. He shouldn't be using my name for clickbait. All I said was, will JD appear? Because so many people asked me, hey, maybe you could have JD appear at one point. And I said, maybe I will. Last week I said was too soon to notice. I'll let you know this week. So I texted JD on the phone. I have the text message if you want to see it. I said, do you want to show up for like 15 minutes and do something out of nowhere? And I waited. No response. So it's not clickbait. I simply said, will JD show up tonight? I told you guys I'd ask him, and I'd know tonight. Didn't know if he was going to say yes or no or what was going to happen. He ended up not.
He could still call in.
He didn't. He could still call in. He didn't answer me.
He's tweeting about it, obviously.
He did not answer me. That's all. He didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody did anything wrong. I just said,
the chicken shit.
I'm a good fucking booker is what I am, you fuck. So I said, will he show up tonight or not? That's all I said. Will he show up or not? You asked me to get him. I texted him on my phone. He's responded to everything else I've ever said. Didn't respond to this. So the answer is no, he will not show up, I guess, because he didn't respond to me. Didn't say he was coming, said will he show up? Try to read better. Will he show up? Unlike Seanzview would have wrote, JD returns! Exclamation point.
You gave him an open invitation. All you said was,
he had an open
will
invitation.
He?
People asked. I did it. He wouldn't invite me to his shit. We know he certainly wouldn't invite me on his channel, but I invited him on my channel, and he did not respond. But he did respond on Twitter, I guess. Wouldn't respond to my text message, but he would respond on Twitter publicly. So that's nice. No in the text. You want to see the text? He didn't respond. I have the text messages. He did not respond. I simply said, would you like to show up for 15 minutes? No response. You asked. No response from him. He didn't want to answer, but he did answer you guys on Twitter, apparently. So, very bizarre, very interesting. I think it's typical. Could have just said no on a text message. No thanks. No. Maybe some other time. Nothing. Didn't respond. Just posted this fucking pictures with the fucking stuffed animal that fucking blows him or something, like every fucking night. What the fuck is this thing? Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, I think it's amusing here listening to Randy Orton defend the booking for Crown Jewel's location and saying that it should take place in Saudi Arabia. He says to TMZ, they approached him, I believe it was at an airport, and he said, I think we should go. I think the only way to help with change over there is to go and not to cancel the trip. Our girls performed in Abu Dhabi not too long ago, and I think we'll be there eventually with Saudi in the Crown Jewel. And then he reiterated his point. That's the goal, is to make things better everywhere. And I think us not going doesn't help. Going helps.
Yeah, DX telling everyone in a second. I'm sure he's going to help.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I don't know.
This is not some civil rights march that you're going over there and you're wrestling. Yes, you're trying to. I don't want to say like Americanize or modernize or things like that. But you being there, I mean, last time for Greatest Royal Rumble, it was nothing but a positive spin, like puff piece on how great Saudi is and that they're working towards that 2030 goal of changing and reforming their society. But still, the women weren't there then. They won't be here now. So, but that's not the point here. No one's like it was like a straw argument, basically. Like he completely misrepresented what the issue was. No one's even talking about the women not being there this time. That's not why people are urging them to back out. That's why that's the furthest thing of why politicians and people in the government are saying not to do this, not to go through with it. You're not going over there to promote change and to make a difference. Be honest, this is strictly about money. This is about a financial deal and payday. That's it. I know he can't outright come out and say that, but I don't appreciate what he had to say here. I just think it was very confounded and convoluted and rather, surreptitious of him to word it in such a manner. It is a big straw argument for him to go ahead and say, oh, well, we'll get the women to wrestle there sometime. Well, when that was the huge staple, that everybody was fighting against for Greatest Royal Rumble, no one spoke out then. But now, all of a sudden, it needs to be addressed because he's trying to draw attention away from the fact of, human rights violations on top of everything that happened with the journalists. So, I mean, it's just, I know it's a huge mess, But I would have rather just said either no comment or the show must go on.
The show must go on. Let me show you something.
Has anybody heard anything official yet?
Real quick, let me show you something. Here's the last thing. I just want to tell you the last thing the JD said to me was early October.
Without de-doxing.
Yeah,
Right.
just text message, nothing else. Okay, man, we'll talk. That was October 1st. And we had a lot of messages before this because we text randomly all the time. Want to come on out of nowhere tonight for 15 minutes or so? Now that was last week. Then I sent him another message online. No answer there, no answer there, no answer anywhere. So I tried. That's the text message. And so there's the proof, man. He just didn't answer. Not a big deal. Didn't answer. What happens? We have each other's cell phone numbers. Okay? We texted each other. It's not a big deal. I invited a guy, he didn't come. It's not a big deal. He did respond publicly on his own Twitter. Never tweeted me and said, no, I was never going to come and no thanks. Nothing. This is not true. I'm not coming. Or, I mean, I didn't even say he was coming. I said, will he show up? He didn't. It's not a big deal. It's what happened. So anyway, I'll book shit better than Vince, though, I'll tell you that right now. There's more fucking interest with this shit than anything else. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything official yet. So many people have said, oh, I've seen this being said that it's canceled, this being said that it's moved, this being said that it's no longer happening, that it's going to be in the UK. Dude, I haven't heard anything official yet.
I really think that they are waiting to see what happens, but I believe that they really are going forward with this because it's already set up. It's just, let's do the show. We're not going to say Saudi Arabia. We're going to stop saying Saudi Arabia. We're going to keep it low-key, but still plugging Crown Jewel. And if something horrific happens, we're going somewhere else, or we're going to stop it or whatever.
I heard UK.
So yeah, UK. If something horrific happens, they're going UK. But if this blows over, or there's some kind of resolution to this soon, hopefully, for them, then they'll just quietly, you know what I mean, ease in and get in there again.
I mean, it was smart to not mention Saudi Arabia specifically this week, but I mean, you kind of figured they kind of needed to at this point.
There you go.
I mean, it says right here, oh, well, WWE removes Crown Jewel pay-per-view event from their calendar with Saudi Arabia linked to... Yeah, we know all this. This is coming from The Sun. This is coming from, you know... Yeah. But we knew that they took it down. They put it back up. And with Khashoggi's, you know, audio coming out, basically, or at least the transcripts of the audio, like we said, it's going to be hard for them to justify still going there. I just... Like I said, they booked themselves into a terrible position here, and I don't feel bad for the company. I feel bad for the talent, because if they don't go, I've heard it from many sources that I trust that those wrestlers are not getting their Mania payday now.
Whoa!
Wow! What? Wait, what did you say?
Same stuff I had said last night. Basically, how it works is, even with the Greatest Royal Rumble bringing in $45 million, up until right now, WWE has only netted $20 million profit for the year. With all the payouts that they had and everything the way it worked through, WWE only had $20 million. So if they lose out on this show, they have to pay contract fines for breaking contracts, for not going through with the show and the deal. So not only do they lose $45 million for Crown Jewel, but any positive revenue that they generated from WrestleMania, they lose as well.
Wow,
because
dude.
That'll go towards paying the fines for canceling the show.
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
So they're out.
Braves are out! Braves are out of the playoffs, you fuck! Braves lose! Red Sox are winning! Sorry.
No, fucking about time. So they'd be out $45 million from not doing the show. That's a huge payday. Shawn Michaels had also said off the record, I guess, that he wouldn't be interested in doing Survivor Series if Crown Jewel's canceled, because it's basically the big payday that's making him be interested to follow through. Because it was going to be a multi-step deal. The only reason he went to Australia was to set up the payday and the storyline for Crown Jewel. So he wouldn't have done the Super Showdown had it not been for the arrangement for him to wrestle at Crown Jewel. Yeah.
So yeah,
They're fucked.
dude, that thing is a fucking mess. That thing is such
And
a
same
mess
thing with
right
Lesnar.
now.
I mean, we haven't seen Lesnar wrestle obviously since what, SummerSlam,
Yeah.
and we won't see it happen again. You know, why all of a sudden is he back now for Crown Jewel, for the payday? You know, that's what it comes to. He's obviously one for the money as well. So
because they can throw money at people. I mean, that's.
yeah, I mean, as of the 14th, we knew WWE took down the live events and tickets offline, and then people said that was still an issue. It was still under WWE.com under shows. Then it was brought back up. It didn't say Saudi. Then they changed it after the fact, and it did say, you know, the Jeddah Arena or whatever they had it at. And now, you know, it was taken down again. Then it was put back. It keeps going back and forth. And both on Raw and then the anniversary show, SmackDown 1000, The Undertaker got booed when he said Crown Jewel, but it was still said. So
if they bring in Chainsaw Muhammad, that would be, dude, it would go so over. It would be so over.
Let me find the
dude.
article that I had talked about last night, and we'll go from there.
Well, yeah, man. It's been a hell of a night, man. It's been a fun night. There's a lot of news here we're gonna get to. There's some donations popping in. Let me play a couple real quick.
Super chat.
Joe is Aunt Jamma, a hot sex symbol for pancakes.
Broken Lion, I agree, man. She's a hot sex symbol. Aunt Jemima. Have you ever seen?
Folks want some pancakes?
I would rub all over Aunt Jemima in like 2 seconds. It would be incredible. I would love it. You would love it. I honestly, I think we'd all love it if Aunt Jemima just got down and saucy with everybody.
I don't want to let go my ego.
NXT was great tonight. I'm gonna have my NXT review up on Patreon. It's really good. I suggest you watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's just it was a pretty good show. It wasn't like the craziest thing ever. Again, I think some people are overblowing it because people already were overblowing it to me, and then I saw it and was like, oh, it was really good, but Jesus, I thought something really crazy happened. But it was just really good storytelling compared to obviously WWE main roster, as we all know. Best thing that happened all week, I got to say, is the Evolution setup with Batista. That shit was fire. That was like the best thing in a while. Triple H and Batista's facial movements and just what they were doing, like you were like, oh shit, now you wanted him to like rip the collar off and just like start fucking stalking each other around the ring like it was like friggin' goddamn 1000 BC or something, and like they were fighting over a naked woman's pussy and fucking a fire and a fucking elk that somebody just killed, and like you could smell like rotted fucking meat and fire and baked shit, and two just smelly, sweaty fucking caveman like dudes fighting over the pussy to make a girl jizz, and oh my god, they were like hunting each other. You could smell it in the air. It was like murder. It was like love, all rolled into one thing, and it was hot, and it was some reason you had an erection from it.
Give me that hell yeah!
Joe, I would call in, but Jake wouldn't let me because I didn't make the right noise when I slurped his cock.
Oh my god, Joe's male sex slave. Thank you for donating, Joe's male sex slave. Well, let's go to a phone call before we continue. Thank you for the donation, man. This is Out of Nowhere, episode 124 on the Joe Cronin Show. Click that sub button down below if you'd like to. Again, like I said, we got a caller, and it's Tommy NC, who was wearing the same shirt again for the millionth time the other day. Again.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
I gotta say, watching episode 1000, I thought it was, you know, halfway decent, but I gotta say the face on Randy Orton was just priceless. Right when Batista looks at Triple H, he's like, "But you've never beat me," and then, you know.
Oh yeah, Randy Orton was making funny like cartoon faces like you would make behind him. Yeah.
Stop calling me.
What? What's the matter, Tom?
What just happened?
I don't know.
What's going on right
Stop
now?
calling me, and then he just like almost
Stop calling me. Randy Orton was
Randy Orton said?
Randy Orton was making these faces and stop calling me. What the fuck is? Stop calling me.
Technical difficulties.
Tommy, who's calling you?
Okay, I had to put my phone on fucking airplane mode just to get these cocksuckers to stop calling me.
Who's call? Do they call you all day? Do you get prank called all day?
Yes, I do. I'm not even on live, and I get prank called, and no one's even there. They're not even saying anything. They're just calling me from a restricted number all the time. And like, even if I want to do a live broadcast on my phone, I have to go in airplane mode. That means no one can call me.
That's what happens.
Trying to order nuggets, or
that's what happens when you give out your phone number to Anthret. That's what happens.
I doubt it was Anthret that gave out my phone number.
No,
it was that fat bitch that gave out my phone number.
No, but I mean, Anthret has your number. Anthret would be the one to call you.
I know how to get a hold of Anthret. He would not do that to me.
Why would he not do that to you? He made fun of you on like all your shows, like sitting there one time, like laughing, hoping people trolled you. Why wouldn't he troll you?
I don't know. He's just like, he wouldn't do that to me. He wouldn't give up my number like that.
No, I didn't say he would give out your number. I'm saying he calls you. He's the one calling. He could be the one calling you.
No, he's not in the situation now to be doing that right now. He's kind of in a, I can't discuss it, but he's kind of like, he's not really in that kind of way to do that right now.
If he has a phone, *67, he calls you. That's all it has to be. Anyway, Tommy, what else did you want to talk about as far as wrestling goes?
You know, I think it's interesting how WWE is doing their best to say that this is not in Saudi Arabia, but the time is weird. Like, who plans a pay-per-view at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? No one is home at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. Who is home?
Well, what are they supposed to do, though? What time can they do it?
Well, they're still doing it. It's just they just don't want to say. But I'm saying,
yeah, but what time can they do it?
The shows, yeah, they're basing it off of the time frame of where they're doing the show, not necessarily where everybody else is watching it.
Yeah, exactly. Because in Saudi, it's 7 p.m. when it starts there, so there's 7 hours ahead of us.
It's a show for them, not for us, Tommy. It's a show for Saudi Arabia specifically, not for us.
Yeah, if we wanted to watch it at 7 p.m., it'd have to be nearly 4 a.m. for them to watch it live. You know?
Hell, it's like NXT UK. That's at 3 o'clock our time.
Tommy, you're still wearing that shirt. You wore that shirt yesterday, now today, and the day before. You sure?
Yeah, it's clean.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No way that's clean. No way. You wore that yesterday, last night on your live broadcast. You wore that on my show. You wore that on my show the day before that. And then before that, you wore it 3 days in a row and then said you got it washed on Sunday, I think. So you
said you went and got laundry done when you went to your mom's when she was bitching about your crusty
Let's
socks.
pretend you washed that shirt. Let's pretend you did wash that shirt. Here's the facts. In the last 10 days, you have worn that shirt 8 of the last 10 days. So you're telling me you take that shirt off every 2 days or 3 days and then wash it and then wear it for 3 days or 2 days.
He gets in the shower with it.
Or you're telling me you wash it every day and then wear it again right after you wash it. Just that shirt only.
I wash other shirts, yes, and I wear this shirt because I...
But you wear that shirt every day, though. Every day.
Yeah.
So you wash that shirt every day and then wear it every day.
Yes.
I thought you had to wash your clothes at your parents' house.
Well, there is a washer unit outside of my apartment building. I do go down there and wash my clothes occasionally.
Occasionally, but you wear that shirt every day. So you wash that shirt you go down to that unit every day and wash that shirt every day and then wear it every day on your show all day, every day, but you wash at some point every day?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so are you trying to get the point that I'm a smelly slob or something here?
No, I didn't say you were smelly. I'm saying you do wear that shirt every day. The last 10 days, you've worn it 8 of the 10 days. It's kind of gross. I can't imagine that you really wash that shirt every day. I mean, we have the proof. You've called the show with it on, and then you've done live videos on your channel with it on. It's like literally, like, we can prove that at least 8 of the last 10 days you've worn that shirt, based on your Twitter posts, your YouTube videos, and my YouTube videos.
Okay, would you like me to change my shirt?
No. I'm just saying, so you're saying because you either don't care, which is, it's fine if you don't. If you don't watch, I don't care. I'm not near you. But I'm saying, like, you wear shirts for 3 days, then wash it, and then wear it 3 more days. Is that what you're saying? You might do that, or is that what you do?
I mean, okay, no, hold on a second, Joe. I will.
No, I don't want you to change it. I don't need this. All right, thank you, Tommy. I'm gonna hang up on you, Tommy. I love you. You don't have to change your shirt. I'm just saying it's already happened. It doesn't matter if you change it now. It's already happened.
That one looks like it has a stain on it.
The other one has a stain on it. Tommy, what the fuck, bro? Listen, I love you, Tommy. Tommy NC 2010 on YouTube. He's amazing. Thank you, Tommy.
I think he's just found a sentimental attachment to that Boo shirt since it's from his parents.
This motherfucker has worn it 8 out of 10 days. It's not a speculation. It is a fact. He's worn it. And here's the thing. 5 days ago, when he wore it 3 days in a row, he said, I said, Tommy, now it's 3 days in a row. He goes, I just had it washed yesterday or whatever, and I got it back. Okay, Tommy. Where's it Monday? Where's it Tuesday? Now has it on again. So it's 3 days. Said it was washed, but then was wearing it that day, and then wore it 3 more days in a row. 8 out of 10 days.
Late for a reason.
I'm just saying, don't lie to me. You know what I mean? Because he was like, no, I wash it. Do you wash it every day? He didn't answer that. He's like Donald Trump. He didn't answer that. Did he wash it every day? He never said he did. Who the fuck washes the same shirt every day? Nobody. Just like nobody doesn't masturbate. You liar. I mean, what the fuck, Tommy? Why does he lie about the dumbest shit?
Super chat. Super chat.
Hope it gets canceled.
Deadpool says, hope it gets canceled. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people hope that. I don't think you're going to get those hopes to come true, though.
Oh, I was going to say, does he mean...
What, the Connors?
I think he means crown. Oh, yeah.
Super chat.
Could be all
Joe,
of it.
can I sniff your butthole?
Yes, Dad, you can sniff my butthole. Yeah, I hope the Connors does, and... No, the Connors will never get canceled, because now it's become an SJW thing, so they're going to no, it's amazing, it's the most raved about show ever, like, it's crazy.
Super chat. Super chat.
Tommy, I love your show, Fami FAKs.
Tommy, I love your show, Fami Facts. Thanks, Dad.
And now you're going to get shit because you hung up on Tommy. He's going to message you in a minute saying, Joe, I had important facts about
It went on too long.
Vince's song for 2018. Busta Rhymes, Arab Money.
Arab Money, baby. Dope Dubs Productions. Thank you, Dope Dubs, for the $2 super chat. Listen, I got all I wanted out of Tommy, okay?
Yeah.
I got that bit out of Tommy. That was it. Caleb Dick.
I don't know if there's any more coming in. I don't want to...
Yeah, there's more coming in. Caleb Dick, thanks for subbing. I got to get through some of them. Yeah, we're... falling behind. Broken Line is the top donator.
So I don't want to.
You can't hear him? We had music at the beginning.
I got everyone's addresses, Mom.
Oh, I'll mute you guys.
I got everyone's fucking addresses, Mom.
Hey, I wasn't crying. Thought you were just doxing JD. May Allah kill Saudi the kingdom.
Okay.
They beheaded my Ayatollah and destroyed our cemeteries.
Okay. I thought you were just... Why would I do that? No, Brahim, thank you for the $5. No, I just showed the text message that I sent that he didn't respond to. That's all. I showed my text message, but no, I wouldn't show anybody's numbers ever. There's no fucking way I would do that. That's fucked up. Why would I do that? Then he would just give out mine. Hey, let me give out his. Then he would just give out mine. Like, why would I give out his if he would just give out mine? That'd be stupid. I would never do that to somebody. That's fucking retarded. I like JD. I asked him to come. He didn't come. It's not a big deal. Shit happens. Tide Pods. Unbelievable Tide Pods.
Tommy, instead of eating Tide Pods, why don't you put one in a washer and wash that fucking shirt? That shirt stinks more than your ass after a long shift at Wendy's. What the fuck, Tommy? Are we going to have to cut it off with a bone saw?
Oh. Tide Pods, thank you for the $4. That is so fucked up, it's insane. Please don't cut him off with a bone saw. That is so messed up that somebody might have done that. Like, here, put on headphones. It will make it easier for you to cut a person up. Like, so fucking sick.
Give me that hell yeah!
Jake, are you going to terrorize my red bunhole after the show?
Man, I'll have to ask him. Joe's male sex slave. Will he... what's going on in this show tonight? Thank you, Joe's male sex slave. We'll try to get back to the to the fucking wrestling in 1 second as soon as I figure out this is working. There we go. Just got to do those little tricks. Thank you, Joe's Male Sex Slave. I appreciate it. Anyway, what else we got? Jake, you got anything else?
So I don't have anybody come after me afterwards. Yeah, it said right here, you look at the last quarter, there was $45 million in extra revenue, and that came directly from the Greatest Royal Rumble. So they must have spent a ton of money, it says here. I mean, they still profited doing the Greatest Royal Rumble, but that $45 million wasn't profit. That was extra revenue. And it wasn't like this was a giant difference in profits, though, that show. The profits were very, very low. Not super low, but low enough so that they were only at the 20 million range for the year to this point. So anything that they did pull in past that show was considered, extra revenue. So if they go ahead and they lose this show, they're not only worried about the fact that no one gets their Mania, like full-on payday stuff, and any of the profits they netted from Mania, they lose out on as well. But they also lose out on $45 million of the year to tack onto their books.
Yep.
And they're worried about the stock dropping. The stock is so high because the idea right now is that there's $450 million still to come over the next 10 years just from these Saudi deals. You take that out, and the stock's going to plummet. I don't know how much you said, but if it's $45 million per show, it really shows that the stock will drop.
It's got to come down.
Money. It's a lot of money, and that's the thing. This deal looked great on paper, but it came with a price, and this is that price.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. It's going to come down eventually. I mean, come on. What is it at 100? Did it drop to 80?
No, it's already dropped, and from it dropping, they lost something like, what did we say, $1.2 billion?
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, dude,
we were talking about it the week before, and I forget the exact. I know it was about $1 billion they had lost. The stock went, down to I think $80, somewhere around that mark.
The WWE stock, like the trend for WWE is the stock always falls back down to like $13. Every other time it's rose, it has always falled back to $13. That is not.
I don't think it'll go that low, but
I know that
it has previously.
I know that it's gone higher than it's ever gone, but I just want to say, remember this: it has gone. Like the lowest the stock, always goes back to $13. In the last 6 years, every time the stock rose to 20 to 30 to 18 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 30 to 20 to 30 to 40, and then up to the 60, 80, 100 that it's at. Every single time that it's had those jumps and rises, drops 13.
All their profits go towards Roman's fake fans.
Yeah, I gotta hire
paying people to go there and cheer for Roman.
You gotta hire the actors.
Yeah, the thing about this too is that this is a 10-year deal, yes, but the deal itself was not ironclad. All the details were not worked out. It was kind of like a come as you go kind of idea. But there's tons of pressure within the company right now because of this. Because they, first they pulled it off the website, then they reposted it. As of right now, it's still happening from what I'm hearing. They're told that it's zip-lipped entirely. They want Raw, SmackDown, Crown Jewels happening. You don't put a ton of focus on it, but you mention nothing about the location. And it says if the news about Saudi continues to get worse, they're expecting not only for the show to get moved, not canceled, moved, but for the stock to plummet as well. So Vince is in real shit's creek here.
I was just checking out the stock prices just to get an idea of the trend. And so back on September 28th, so not even a month ago, it was 96.73, which is one of the highest times it's ever been.
Right.
Now it's around $84. That's what it closed at today.
Yeah.
Really?
So it went
I thought it was
almost
lower.
100 to it was at 80 when we originally had that article come out.
Well, they put themselves in a lose-lose situation, like you said. I think Jake said it yesterday about Saudi Arabia in the beginning, but not really because they were set to make money, so it was a risk. But now they're in a lose-lose situation.
You're screwed either way, though.
Yeah.
11 dead babies were found in the ceiling of a Detroit funeral home a couple days ago. Does that mean WWE should never come back here?
CE Moore. Well, there's a difference because I saw that story. The dead babies were found in somebody's home at the responsibility of probably a person or somebody else. They weren't at the responsibility of the government.
Yes.
Our government. So if they were found in Donald Trump's White House, like if they were found in the American embassy, somewhere, you know, then you could see it. Plus, WWE is from America.
Fuck yeah,
so
I got everyone's addresses, Mom.
that didn't make any sense.
I got everyone's fucking addresses, Mom.
Would the Oshirai dragon suplex me and put me in the crippler crossface so I can die happy? Are Japanese chicks into Lebanese dudes? What do I do, Joe?
I think Japanese chicks could be into Lebanese guys. Why not, Brahim? Brahim? Is it Brahim? It's Brahim.
If you ever seen anime, you know there's a lot of weird shit they're into. So
yeah, they'll do anything.
Yeah, really.
Who cares, man? I have a lot of Lebanese friends, and they had one of the guys had a hot Asian wife. He was like a computer guy. But thank you for the donation. But to the previous guy, C.E. Moore, again, I think what he said is ridiculous because, you know, I mean, all countries do things like, you know, you would have been better off comparing what the U.S. does as far as bombings and stuff. But here's the thing: we are the WWE is out of our own country, is out of the United States, so it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna hold other people to a different standard than your own country usually. It's just the way it is. And to you know, if an American embassy chopped up somebody who was like a Canadian citizen or something, you know, you could see then people who had some. Say Canada was bringing something to America, and then in America, like we chopped up a Canadian in our embassy, like they would be angry at us. Like it's a whole different situation than domestically somebody hacking up a bunch of people or babies or something. That's a whole different situation. The government is involved with it, so it's completely different. You could
Plus
find other examples there.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were done there. They're also going ahead and involved in the wrestling as well here with, you know, paying to change storylines and whatnot too. So they're not just invited, you know, to host shows, but they're actually manipulating and changing the course of creative. I mean, we've seen it multiple times already, and God knows they wanted Sean back. They got it. You know, they're willing to pay through the nose. That would literally, you know, be as if you won the Powerball jackpot last night and then went to Vince and said, you know, I want to see Stone Cold versus The Rock at this year's WrestleMania. Here's $600 million. Do it. You know, you don't care who gets stepped on. Turn Roman heel and, you know, it just, that's what it's come down to.
Just sending some love. Always enjoyed your content.
Hey, J Carg Wrestling, thanks for the $2, man. Thank you for tipping us tonight. Certainly helps us make a decision on whether to keep the show on YouTube. So appreciate it, man. I mean, the U.S. Tortured people in recently, you know, in 2004.
Yeah.
In Guantanamo Bay or whatever it was, you know, or whatever down in Cuba, whatever the hell that place is. You know, but again, the WWE is out of the U.S. They're not going to, you know, admit to those sort of things. I mean, and the torture wasn't, you know, I don't believe that we ever hacked anybody up, but it doesn't matter. Like I get it, but it's the idea that people found out about it. And we're going to Saudi Arabia. It's a very specific thing that people can really, you know, get behind. Plus, the guy was a journalist. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like if somebody who's a terrorist or a criminal or, you know, something like that to Americans, you know, they think, oh, you know, that can happen.
Kind of like an eye for an eye. You're in that kind of neck of the woods.
And
perhaps
perhaps in Saudi Arabia, this guy is seen as a criminal or something because he said bad things about whoever. I don't even know. But he's as far as the U.S. is concerned, this is an American citizen journalist who wasn't a violent guy. He was just doing journalism, and he was an American citizen, and he was dismembered potentially. So that's why it's a problem for people. Like, you know, that becomes like, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't really know what to say about it. I think a lot of people don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. I think it's too much money. At this point, WWE needs the money. It's too much money. They're going to go with the money in the end.
I'm just worried that
I hope you guys don't really think WWE is going to back out of the Saudi deal. They won't.
I don't.
Yeah,
WWE, we're talking about all they care about is money, and Detroit is a shithole.
Broken Lion, thanks for the 316. Yeah, that is, dude, that story, I read the top of that story. I thought about talking about it on Morning Madness earlier when I was recording, and I just went, nope, I couldn't even do it. I saw dead babies in ceiling. I went, nope, not going to read that. I'm just going to chalk that up as horrific. By the way, I'll plug it right now. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, the $5 a month tier. Morning Madness episode 122. It's up right now. Some salty shit on there. Enjoy that. 32 minutes of podcast. You'll love it. Download it. Love it. All that other shit. I want to take his call because he's been calling a bunch tonight. A lot of people calling, but we'll take your calls. 339-226-6610. Tony is on the phone. What's up, Tony?
What's What's up, Joe? I just finished watching the series premiere of NXT UK.
Ooh, how did that go, man? I have not seen.
Yeah, none of us here have seen it yet, so without spoiling it, what'd you think of it? Or Joe, you saw it, right?
No, I saw NXT tonight, but I didn't see the UK yet.
Oh, okay, you didn't see the UK, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil anything.
Oh my God. Wait till you see the UK title match, Joe. That was like an instant classic right off the bat.
Really? That's awesome. I'm gonna be watching it later.
Champion for how long now? I mean, it's some ridiculous
over a year, well over a year, like a year and a half.
I thought it was almost 2 years at this point. It's like 500 something days.
Let me look that up.
I know somebody said that he's the longest reigning champion for something and something modern era, blah, blah, blah. You know,
let's see. He won it on...
Y Society probably has the exact stat. I'm sure he'll throw it in the chat, but...
Pete Dunne's a fucking beast.
Yeah,
he sure is.
Insane.
And pretty much saw the Mae Young Classic. I saw Tegan Knox, so she got really, really hurt.
Yeah.
Really?
During a match with Rhea Ripley, though. I mean, as soon as I saw that suicide dive and she landed awkwardly on her left knee, I was like, oh, damn, Knox is in serious trouble.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. There's so many people getting hurt nowadays.
Jeez, though. And plus, did you also happen to catch, though, on the end of NXT, Joe, when Nikki Cross whispered in Aleister Black's ear that Black went into a serious rage? Who do you think attacked Aleister Black, by the way?
I don't know, man. Well, there goes the spoiler. But no, I don't know, man. I don't know who it is. I haven't even speculated on that yet. I thought maybe we were gonna find out tonight because of everybody being like, "Oh my God, you won't believe what happens," and I'm like, "Okay,
yeah, because
cool."
Nikki Cross, went ahead and approached Velveteen Dream, last week, and
Aleister Black this week.
So saying,
I will say they did a beautiful job of like turning a horrible situation with Black getting injured and really making it a great storyline, and have Nikki being like the one who knows what's going on but not really saying anything. It's just
she's just not trustworthy. Essentially, like, does her word mean anything because she is so unhinged? She's
saying, "I know what you did to like 5 guys." Which what does she do?
Yeah,
but does everybody have a part in it? It really,
right.
So they're not just like throwing out red herrings, making you be like, I think there's more to it than they're letting on. Like, maybe, obviously only one person put him on the injured list, but I think they're also going to have where everybody played a part in it somehow, because she's approached Tommaso Ciampa, and she's going, we saw that last week when she was in the ring, smacking the mic out of his hand with Velveteen Dream and him running away from her, and she plays crazy perfect.
Yeah. Right. Oh, by the
Absolutely
way, Pete Dunne's been champion for 516 days.
Yeah, he won it June 2017. Y Society just said it as you did, so I knew it was around 500 days. That's incredible. I'm surprised they don't tout that stat more. I know he tweeted out, "I've been breaking records every day is a new one," something like that. But
he's still lost.
They're still in the infancy.
Dude, he was so good against Velveteen Dream in Massachusetts. Connor was there.
That was such a great. That blew me away of how good that was.
Yeah, dude, they had amazing chemistry, dude. That should be. I mean, oh my God, I'm really upset if somebody. I wish that whole match had been taped, recorded. Because
that whole show was just amazing, because me and Joe said this numerous times. Like, it was the night before Brooklyn, and we're like, they're freaking killing each other out there. I'm surprised they went so balls to the wall.
Yeah.
He is. I don't want to say underrated, because that's not it, but I hope because eventually he will make his main roster debut. I hope that he is truly valued for every damn penny he's worth. I fear, as we've seen all NXT talent get destroyed, that he's not one of the ones to meet such a similar fate. Probably will, but I'm hearing right now that after Survivor Series, we're getting several NXT call-ups. So one of the things here too that I was going to bring up to you before, I don't know if both of you heard this, but Fox is actually pushing to end the brand split.
I told you. I knew this was going to happen.
You had said it originally, Connor.
You both were on this for the last little while. It makes sense because WWE would want all. I think you guys said this, that WWE would want all their guys featured on Fox.
Yeah, and you had started off on that fact there, Connor, and it just really makes sense because apparently Fox. Obviously they got this huge deal. It's an extra $1 billion coming to the WWE for the next 5 years. And that starts October 2019. And at that point, It says here they want programming. They want as much programming as they can get. They want to feature every bit of talent, stars, and they're offering to do more shows than just SmackDown as well. They want to do things like a Saturday night main event type thing here and there. They, you know, how they have network specials now. They want to do that as well on Fox, and they want to showcase them and make it, you know, equal to what they do for NFL and NASCAR. So they said right here, this is coming from the No Holds Barred podcast. They said, I'm not going to say the brand split is going to stop immediately, but I heard that there's a million rumors you hear a day, but this is what Fox wants. Above all, Fox wants content with as many stars as possible. They don't want to have just everybody that's on SmackDown stay that way. So it makes a great deal of sense.
I figured they would do this once, like as soon as they announced that the pay-per-views are back together. I'm like, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. My only question is, what do they do with the belts? Do they unify all of them? You know, do they unify the women's belts, the tag belts?
Let's hope, because Jesus, there's way too many belts.
Yeah, I think that would be the best bet, and you know,
and they've proven too that they can that what happens on Raw has become stagnant. Every single week when you see the same matches, it has become absolutely stagnant. And then on SmackDown, they are rushed to get everybody on that roster involved. So the solution to that is get rid of this brand split so that they can throw some new shit on Raw once in a while, and on SmackDown some people have room to breathe, and people who don't have room to breathe were on Raw anyway, so it solves everything. And the brand split was kind of a failure. It was really stupid, and I didn't like it anyway.
Wasn't planned.
I've never enjoyed it ever, not once. Any iteration that we've gotten of it, I've always despised. I hate the idea of
03 to 05.
Even then, though, like there was just so many people that I wanted to see work together that couldn't.
You know what, though?
Oh, they're on a different show.
Let's not forget this, though. The problem before the brand split, one of the problems was that, you know how we're bored of stuff on Raw every week? What they were starting to do, if you guys remember, is they were booking stuff on Raw, then booking it again on SmackDown. That was the problem. So you were bored on Raw, then bored on SmackDown, and SmackDown shook things up to make it better for that reason. So this will work, but only if they make sure they still sort of separate the brands without separating it. You know?
Yes, you know, people can compete on SmackDown or Raw, but if you're on Raw, you're not being featured again on SmackDown the next night.
Or at least they're trying hard to stay away from that as much as possible, because that's what killed it before, and this is killing this now, so we know the answer.
They kind of did that before with the towards the end of the first one, where they had like Raw Super Show, where they had SmackDown guys on Raw. I think this is when they first moved to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then SmackDown still was kind of its own separate brand, so it was a weird mix. But maybe
everybody was on one show, and then just a certain section of the roster was on SmackDown. It was
so weird, but it's funny.
It kind of worked better.
When you know, talking about like, you know, what do they do with the belts? Good mic work, actually. Joe and I know him. I tweeted out the whole thing.
Cool guy.
He said that he just booked, I don't know if he posted on his channel yet. He said that his idea would be, if you're going to unify the belts, what better opportunity if you're going to have a women's main event at WrestleMania, you do Raw and SmackDown women's title, Ronda versus Charlotte.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a hell of a match. It'd be a hell of a WrestleMania to unify that shit. It's a good point, and it would set up the Fox shit. 219 is on the phone. Oh, he lost him. Wait a minute, I got him back again, I think. Hold on.
I would unify everything, honestly, except
219's
for
here.
The Universal and the WWE Championship. I think it's still okay to have those two at this point. Much as I don't like the Universal title, the problem is that you had your mid-card titles, but you needed that like one step above IC title, but not quite WWE Championship. You needed that like next step belt, and the Universal title would fit great if they used it in that role.
I honestly wish they would just... I wish they'd just get rid of it, bring back the European title, and have European United.
If they did that and offered another belt, and had the IC title really be the second belt again, then that would then I'd be all for it.
Just elevate the IC
keep it
belt.
as it is now.
I'm good with no US, because I feel like that's been always like second rate anyway.
Yeah, you could get rid of the
ShiBUM.
Joe, the brand split was made to give wrestlers that haven't been used to get a chance. The roster has too many people. The brand split can work, but they refuse to use other guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we see the same matches every single week.
Broken Lion, thanks, man. No, I agree. You're right. It's a good point. I mean, listen, if you know, again, it comes down to where you book people. They are so lazy. They put the same people on TV for an hour and a half. Like, it's like they have to. And one of the reasons why I think they do it is because the ratings do better with those people on TV. So the WWE can't help themselves, and they put them on there. Now, but they do this with other people where the ratings don't matter as much. Like New Day and Cesaro and shit the other night. Why did that matter? I don't know.
It shouldn't have. And people, not to, give Lion some shit there, but that's what they said they did that for, but that's not the truth. The reason they had the brand split was for house shows. That's it. This way, when SmackDown's live, Raw has a house show. When Raw's live, SmackDown has a house show. Right. Because people felt slighted knowing that they go to a house show. Why am I not seeing John Cena? Why am I not seeing Roman Reigns and The Undertaker and so-and-so? Well, because they had to be on TV on Raw and SmackDown. So you were really getting just, I don't want to call them like the full B crew, but you weren't getting any big names. You were getting all, the lesser talent, the real mid-carders and lower. And people were upset by it. So if they had the brand split, you basically had an off night. But they can still do that. They can have people wrestle on either show, and whoever's not going to be on that night is on the house show. Why does it have to be either or kind of thing? Just mix it up. Have it rotate.
Hey, Brian Goulash ripped off my State of the WWE. What a fuck.
What do you expect?
So I've been feeling a brand unification coming for a while. Keep them stabling up people and making factions a thing again. Do you feel that's a telltale sign of brand unification?
Could be, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's what we were getting at. I mean, Fire Monkey, thank you for the $4, Fire. But I think, do you feel that's a telltale sign of the brand? I mean, maybe,
no, I think
because they haven't cared. You know what? I think Connor thinks the same thing. No, because from day one, they didn't have a problem with jumping people over for no reason right from the start.
Yeah, I think it's more the whole the merging of the pay-per-views as a sign. I think that's a bigger sign than anything else. The cruiserweights now being on their own show, they're losing their uniqueness of each show.
Yeah,
yeah. And when that's happening, might as well combine them.
Exactly.
Ridiculous. Well, anyway,
did we get 219 back on the line here?
He's on here.
All right, 219. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Sorry to have you wait. How you doing tonight? Good.
Yeah.
What's on your mind tonight?
Can I just say something, man? This whole Saudi thing is stupid because that journalist traveled with Bin Laden through the 80s and 90s and supported Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia, in the past 2 months, blew up 3 school buses of children, but no one's talking about that on the news because America helped them do it.
Damn. That's a good point. Although we don't know what...
You're not wrong in some of the aspects because America, Trump even admitted, we're the war machine for them. We're building their tanks, their planes, their weapons. That's how, I live in Connecticut. Most of the jobs here come from like Pratt and Whitney and things of that nature. So
yeah, when they blow up a school bus with a weapon, it says United States under it.
That's not that.
That's a great point, though. Was he really working? Was he really with Bin Laden?
Yeah, dude. Look, you got to look it up. He traveled through Bin Laden. He wrote a book called "The Real Bin Laden." I know, trying to.
Was he not? Was he just following him to document what he was doing? Could he have just been doing that?
No, dude. He was.
No, he was an Al-Qaeda supporter.
The journalist was an Al-Qaeda supporter?
Yeah.
Look, hey, do you remember my super chats? My name is Brahim.
Yeah, Brahim, yeah.
All right, dude. They man, I don't even know, dude. Fuck them Saudis, dude. Okay, I'm a Shia Muslim, and they've killed so many of us, dude. But anyway, I got a question to ask Joe, really quick.
Yeah.
Man, this is kind of weird to say, but I have narcolepsy and cataplexy, and I'm on strong prescription drugs, and they make me fantasize about Io Shirai all day, and it's interfering in my life, so I don't know what to do.
Jerk off.
Yeah, masturbate more. Hopefully that'll keep you awake so you don't fall asleep.
Yeah, man. I would. I just.
Dude, I can't. I'm on like too many prescription drugs. I'm on uppers, downers, all around.
You can't be on all that shit. Why would you? Don't do that. Well, no, but the narcolepsy.
Dude, I can't help it because if I don't take it, dude, I can't stay awake during the day, and then like I have cataplexy. It's like a muscle disease, so they have to give me like medicine. Man, I don't even want to say what it's called, but similar to the stuff X-Pac said they all took on that plane ride from hell.
So what's the bad? What's happening that's bad out of all this? I mean, it's obviously a lot of shit, but I mean, what's happening? What's the worst thing that's happening? Is you're whacking off to female wrestlers?
Dude, I haven't been able to whack off in a long time, dude, because of all the damage and shit. But
Jesus,
I don't know. Your CO Shirai is interfering in my life.
Well, don't stalk her, whatever you do.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Dude, I don't.
But how is she interfering with your life? Like you just can't stop looking at her, or dude, like what's happening?
I don't know. Like even before the Mae Young Classic, I just saw like a few clips of her, and like one time, she does the crippler crossface like Benoit, and first time I seen her do that, dude. And I seen her smile while she was doing it. I don't know, dude. It just was like an attraction. Like I don't have like yellow fever or anything. It's just weird.
Oh my God.
A fantasy that stuck out in your brain.
Well, that's
something clicked and you're attracted to it. It's okay.
That's fine. You know what I mean? That's okay. You can,
I've been eyeing this Hoover vacuum for quite some time now. So
yeah. Just take just whatever. It's all good, man.
Just the low setting.
That's not the worst thing.
Suckmaster has got my name written all
now,
over
if you said like you had like urges to like go in public and like shit in like a garden or like to stab somebody, like that'd be dangerous, But you just being obsessed with a girl is pretty. That's not.
No, yeah, like I don't know. It's just weird. No. I'm not a creep like that, dude.
So you're all right then. You'll be fine then. That's not a problem.
Yeah, the word obsession has a bad rap for it. Doesn't mean you're.
It's not even bad. It's not even that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. She's her whole life right now. I mean, that's it.
Transfixed.
How old is she? What do you want to marry her?
No, dude.
How old is Io Shirai?
All right then.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I think I just want a dragon suplex and.
It's oddly specific. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you can do.
He's got the match all booked in his mind.
Yeah.
Really quick before I let you guys go, why don't they do dragon suplexes in WWE anymore?
Why don't they do back body drops?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have changed that you don't really pick up on until after the fact. That's a great point, though.
Why do they do suicide dives left and right, but don't do back body drops? Brahim, thank you, man. I love you, bro.
Yeah, super kicks.
I hope you're better, man, with that. If you were serious, I hope you're better. That's
no drivers.
That's awful. Yeah, no pile drivers. Yeah, no. I mean, you can break your neck more going for the fucking suicide dive now. There's no back body drops, really.
What? Who? There was a move last. Oh, fucking Big E when he planted Cesaro on his neck.
Yeah,
that was. Did you catch that?
Yeah, that was messed up.
That was brutal. I was like, dear God, he's retarded now. He's he's retarded.
They replayed it and everything, but I was like,
yeah, they played it back in slow mo.
That's one of those. That takes off a year and a half of your career right there. That move. That was the neck.
Sure.
The neck
it
was
might not
degrading.
even hurt. It's one of those things that compounds later, I bet.
Yes. No, that's something where it's like, well, there goes. That's the thing that triggered the neck degeneration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Likely. Yeah. If you look into this journalist, Khashoggi, his uncle was an arms dealer, and the journalist himself came from a very wealthy family from Saudi. His grandfather, Mohammed Khashoggi, was a Saudi doctor who served as the personal physician of the king, Al Saud. And that was the first monarch. And his connection to the U.S. has already spanned decades. But long before 9/11, he interviewed and knew Osama bin Laden. He interviewed the notorious al-Qaeda leader on 7 different occasions. He met bin Laden back in the 80s when bin Laden was fighting the Soviets in Afghanistan. And bin Laden became more bloodthirsty in the 90s, and then his fanaticism reached a horrifying peak on 9/11, obviously, and Khashoggi continued to he basically dispersed at that point. But he explained the methods that bin Laden adopted were a perversion of Islam. So he wasn't like a full supporter. He certainly didn't support bin Laden, but yeah, he did follow Al-Qaeda heavily. And
well, that's what I was saying. Like, it's kind of like a CNN journalist following the war, or like covering shit over there and being allowed access, even though they're, you know, like, I don't know. I'd have to look up more before I say anything about it, because I don't know. I'll probably talk about it over on my corrupted YouTube channel.
Yeah, there's a lot to have to.
By the way,
delve into here.
Super Chat Party.
I was speaking to the outrage culture in chat.
Oh, when you were saying, about the, I guess what you're, I get what you're saying, see more. I mean, that's why I stand back on it a little bit too. I mean, you never know. Can we hear the tape? You know, Trump is speculative about, you know, is there audio, you know, but he's weirdly, I don't know how you take a side. I mean, it's just whatever happens, we don't know. You know, we need proof. Let's see what goes on. Make sure it was 100%. Seems like it was. And
here's a picture of him here holding an RPG with jihadist and Osama bin Laden from the 1988 article that he wrote about Al-Qaeda and whatnot. So, wow.
Yeah, you know, again, I don't know what to say. There's a lot of money on the line. I can't believe that they're going to cancel it, but they clearly are thinking about it, and they're clearly, you know, it's not even that crazy that they didn't mention Saudi Arabia, because, again, I said that before that was my prediction. I said they will not mention Saudi Arabia. That's just classic WWE. Anybody who knows WWE would have said that, and probably did say that they won't mention Saudi Arabia on Raw, because that's just classic WWE. They're still saying Crown Jewel, and they won't mention the show. Let's go to another call here before we get out of here. 575. What's up?
Yo, what up?
What's up, man?
I really don't think. I don't really know. I'm conflicted because the brand split's a good idea in theory, kind of messy in practice. But like, what's WWE going to do with all these talents? They got all these indie darlings. You know, all these people that they barely have time enough for now.
You want to know how it goes bad for them? Picture this: Roman Reigns and everybody on Raw, and then on SmackDown to make sure they get on TV.
Mick Foley not on Twitter or in the WWE 2K19 game?
I thought Mick Foley was in the game. I thought I saw him.
I thought he was.
I thought I saw him too. Lissandro Guzman, thank you.
2014, 2015, that's exactly what Raw and SmackDown was. Raw was like Roman Reigns, and SmackDown was like Seth Rollins or whoever needed TV time behind Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I mean, and
because if they do what they did on Raw, where you get a singles match from one of the Shield, a singles match from one of the Shield, then a triple threat, or excuse me, a 6-man tag, and then they repeat a 6-man tag again on SmackDown.
Joe help's starting to get extremely creative. He wants to put me in a sharpshooter while I suck off Danny Mount and Hamza. Joe help, I want to go home. This is hell.
Hey, thank you, Future Joe. Future Joe, I'm not concerned about you because you're so much older than me. I mean, apparently Tommy's torturing you, but I promise to never go to Black Mountain, and I will change history, and you'll disappear, and it will never have happened. I promise, Future Joe. But yeah, I mean, dude, imagine like they're shoved down our throats on Raw, and then on SmackDown, you're like, hope we see some stuff. Oh, here's the Shield again, or here's Roman again, and here's that again, and you're just like, oh my God, no, because now they want it on Fox.
Like, why are you gonna tune in to watch on Fox what you could see on USA? That's why I think the brand is a bad idea. The problem is we have no creative. You got a good creative, then you have a use for the Shinsuke Nakamura's and the Bullet Clubs and all these people who don't even get TV time. And like, you know, like NXT, I don't know how they do it, but they still seem to give the proper people TV time, you know, and they got a full roster of it. I think WWE went too crazy on buying the talent. Now they don't know what to do with it, and now the product is suffering. Well, at least to the hardcore fans. The casual fans might be liking this. I don't know, but I'm not liking this.
No, yeah, a lot of the talent is not happy. A lot of the, you know, I don't even know what to tell you, man. It's like all these guys have a ceiling of a 6 or 7 out of 10 wrestler.
Yeah.
They don't,
and it makes sense with the article we were talking about last week and a bit of news about how Vince doesn't want to build top talent because he feels he can't really trust anybody at this point. He's afraid he's going to get, you know, screwed yet again. He doesn't want another Brock Lesnar or Rock scenario where people leave for Hollywood or UFC.
Chat party.
Ooh, super chat party. Casey Rose getting in on the super chat party. Thank you, Casey, for the $1.75.
Where they leave.
But it's not fair to really take people who did great in the indies and just make them jobbers to, you know, to jumps like Roman.
Well, I mean, that's, you know, if the indie guys want to do it, go for it. The WWE knows what they're doing. They're buying up the talent. It's almost like if you saw 5 expensive Pokemon cards on eBay and you were rich, so you bought the 5 Pokemon cards on eBay, then you resold them at twice the amount, each with an increase on price, creating your own market. That's what WWE does by buying up the talent that's around. They just have it to have it. They may not even use it or use it the right way. They just want to have it so it doesn't get used everywhere else. You want to buy up those cards so you can sell, control the market.
It sucks, my nigga, because when you get excited, when you hear about these guys, you're like, oh, yeah, they're coming to WWE. And then when they get here or when they get to the main roster, you're like, oh, man, they shouldn't have did that.
It's like we all get it. All. How many times are we all going to be like, oh, it's awesome, they're coming up, here we go. And then, like, remember how excited we got for, like, dude, we're so stupid. We even got excited for Bobby Lashley for some reason. We were like, cool, Bobby Lashley. And, like, oops.
Yeah, week 1 he was ruined. I mean, we even just heard today, actually, that Punishment Martinez, who has wrestled at All In, you know, he's a Ring of Honor star.
Yep.
He reported to the Performance Center.
Oh. So. There goes another one.
And Chelsea Green, I adore her, but I wish she hadn't signed. Oh, my God.
Yeah. You know who is, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, as long as they're in NXT, it's fun. But, yeah, once they come up, it's... I mean, some of the only guys who have been, like, good enough where you're like, okay, like, that was worth it. I mean, maybe Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Maybe, but there's been so many other busts. And it's not...
see, that's another parallel. Kevin Owens, if they let Kevin Owens come in as NXT Kevin Owens. If they'd have let Bobby Lashley come in as TNA Bobby Lashley, you'd have a different... you'd have a different outcome.
But see, even to me, like, Owens and AJ Styles, for the most part, they're even toned down a little bit. Like, AJ Styles and Owens could be at a different level. They could be. Which is fine.
Compared to NJPW 2014 AJ, yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and we've seen Owens be able to wrestle that way a few times. Same thing with AJ. We have seen them be able to do it. And I agree that they shouldn't do it every night. And they certainly, every SmackDown, they shouldn't do it. But, you know, those guys are the closest things to being successful. And, yeah, Bobby Lashley is a mess. I mean, he can't dance. So, you know, he's screwed right there. I mean,
my man.
You saw R-Truth last night.
My man.
Don't even get me going on that. But it's like, and they even had to put the Leo Rush thing is so... That's just I mean, dude, Vince is feeding him lines. Like, I mean, right out of Vince's like
earpiece.
Oh yeah, my man. Like, oh my God, dude.
You need an earpiece to say, my man.
Rush can dance too. Unless Rush can dance too, they're both fucked.
Well, yeah, dude.
Leo Rush could be the comedy spot essentially. Even as a chicken shit heel manager, he can get thrown around and. You know, the heel beat downs that happen, you know, when the face gets their revenge, instead of getting it on Bobby, they'll trash. Just like the Singh brothers, you know, they got their ass kicked instead of Jinder. That'd be the same idea.
When Vince McMahon sees a black guy, this is the song and character that comes into mind. Vince is like, oh shit, we got a new black guy?
Yeah, I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice.
I find that to be bullshit that Vince doesn't want to build anyone up. What made the Attitude Era so great, everyone was overlooked. What happened when Austin was hurt? The Rock became the face. I might not have worded this right, but fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
There's a lot more. I think they just didn't give, like, they just let everything go loose back then for the Attitude Era because they're like, we're getting our ass kicked by WCW, so fuck it, and then just let it go.
Well, who else have they fucked over? I mean, Asuka's a mess, right? Because they don't know what to do.
Asuka, dude. Asuka was supposed to be an animal. She was supposed to be eating people.
Yeah, dude. I mean? Like, why can't she be just quiet, like hiding in the back and stuff, and like kind of acting like mysterious and shit like that? But instead, they gotta like
those NXT promos where she's like in the rented car and she's like not even speaking. Like they're interviewing her. What do you think of this person, that competitor? She ain't saying shit.
You know, it blows my mind that they take like such successful people, wrestlers, and gimmicks, and even the angles from NXT and WWE main roster, and they kill it. And then someone came out and said, "Oh, Vince doesn't watch any NXT," and I 110% completely believe that.
And they just blew it with Joe. If they'd have just put the belt on Joe at that stupid showdown, it probably would have been great for Joe.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing the bad about that again was it was so early in the morning and everything. I mean, it would have been cool because it would have been like the second time that Joe kind of captured a title, like at a show that wasn't prominent. But I get why they didn't do it there. But at some point they should have done it and had him take it. But they've clearly got some kind of other plan. And then having him like busted knee and stuff, like they really weakened him, man. They really. I mean, he doesn't need it, but he's already hitting fucking Bray Wyatt level, like. Luckily though, Joe says stuff on the mic good enough, whereas, Bray Wyatt was pigeonholed because he always comes out and goes, "Oh, there's gonna be chaos." Like it's just like I don't believe the fucking thing.
That certain, round hole kind of peg situation.
Joe can come out, can speak tomorrow, and he appears to be as tough as ever. So that's the good thing for Joe, and I suppose they know that. And it's
but the problem in my mind, like even I hear from just some casual, fans, they're like, "Oh, well, he lost a lot now, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then you look at the hardcore saying everybody he's challenged, and I made this point previously, he's gotten his ass beat. Oh, let me challenge, no matter who it is, he's lost.
And you know what? You would protect the mystique of the character by having Joe lose, like on a dirty. A dirty finish account out, something like that. You at least protect the character and still make him kind of look tough, but they just keep making him look weak.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it just continually happens. We saw him lose to Lesnar. We saw him lose to AJ. We saw it just keeps happening. A quick little side note too. Someone had sent this to me. This just got updated. It says The Rock, because we had heard The Rock was heavily rumored, not just like typically like, oh, The Rock's going to be there because he's in the same town, but a lot of people had said, oh no, The Rock's going to be there. We even heard at one point Mark Henry was supposed to show up. That day, yesterday, we had gotten news. It said WWE News, Mark Henry to make appearance at SmackDown 1000. That was supposed to be set. So I guess there were a lot of people backstage. Michelle McCool, Tori Wilson, Vicky Guerrero we did see. But, James Ellsworth, they obviously moved to WWE's YouTube. But there was a lot of people that got no time because they were so rushed. But it says here, The Rock possibly declined 1,000 due to WWE's Saudi Arabia deal.
Man, I was happy to see Lay Cool, not because they were good, but just to see us.
Yeah, it's still a nostalgia thing, and I know we have Evolution coming up, so it doesn't have the same impact of SmackDown 1000 bringing out Trish and Lita because they already did it on Raw. So that kind of bites them in the ass too. I mean, it's hard for them to overdose on nostalgia. I
got to be honest. I mean, thanks for the call, by the way, man. I love you. Good shit. I got to be honest. I couldn't give a shit about Lay Cool. I don't care if they came out like that. I hated them when they were here, so I don't care. But
it didn't do much for me, but there are people that did want to see them, so I get the point.
Yeah.
But they said right here, The Rock's concern is, as soon as this Saudi Arabia thing happened, he said, I'm one of the top box office draws in the world, and he can't be associated with WWE with this type of, criticism going on.
WWE's the Hulk Hogan right now.
Yeah, I mean, and they really are. They're getting not just like, fans attacking them, but they're getting politicians and government officials and, people coming out of the woodwork to say, change this, get out of this deal, drop this. So that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, well, you know what the WWE should say then? You know what? Because I don't like that. Because you know what? How about you not sell them fucking weapons then? How about you don't sell them weapons? How about we'll pull out of our entertainment show that's trying to bring people together and show them our culture a little bit and trying to break down their culture and doing something. How about you fucking stop selling them murderous weapons that kill people? How about that, U.S. government? How about you don't go after the WWE, you fucking idiots in Washington? And how about you stop selling them fucking weapons? How about you don't blow up our towers on 9/11? How about that, you fucking assholes? How about you don't fucking do that shit, and then maybe you can tell WWE what to do? Now listen,
I still think The Rock's going to run for office, at some point. I have a feeling that we're going to see President Dwayne Johnson at least make an attempt for that, commander-in-chief role. And there's like 80% of me, so I want to say this, carefully as well, that perfectly understands where everybody's coming from. But then again, the 20, maybe even 15% of me says like it's just wrestling. It's fake. It's scripted. It's all just entertainment. It's the same thing as them bringing the Avengers over to Saudi for them to watch, or bringing a Broadway show, you know, or a live band for a concert. Them performing doesn't necessarily have to mean they stand with everyone over there. Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made, but kind of like what Randy Orton said before, you know, they're kind of, you know, trying to bring about change. So maybe they are trying to do some good, but we know it all comes down to the money, so that's not the case. But it's just wrestling. You know, if you, like you said, if you really want to make a difference, then stop having us make their weapons. Stop having us, you know, go ahead and turn a blind eye to all these heinous crimes that happen repeatedly.
How about on September 11th, when Osama bin Laden supposedly fucking has his fucking cohorts crash into our buildings? How about we not allow all the Saudis to just leave the country? How about we not allow the Saudis to be the only people to leave the country without investigating all of them? Why would we do that? You know, how about you do that, fucking government, politics, people in the Senate and people in politics that are still there, that were there back in 2004. These old hag fucking senator fucks who are still there like, oh, blah, blah, blah. By the way, I reached out to the Gregory brothers the other day. Big news. This weekend, we're going to get it. For those of you who don't know who the Gregory brothers are, the Schmo No guys, the Gregory brothers, they do the auto-tune the news. They've done the fucking, he's hiding in your window, he's climbing in your window.
Them.
All the fucking songs. Big news.
Joe, imagine The Rock and Jesse Ventura running for office against each other.
No, I want them running together. I want them running together. Can you imagine The Rock and Jesse as the VP? Oh my God, dude. I am not only running to the polls, I am masturbating at the polls. I am jerking off.
while blaring Real American. You gotta be blaring.
I am blaring Real American while jerking off. I am voting at the polls, jerking off, and when I get arrested, I'm claiming temporary happiness insanity. I swear to God, The Rock and Jesse Ventura as vice president, I am waxing carrots off. But anyway, I reached out to the Gregory brothers. We are getting it. Apparently, this weekend, Kavanaugh, I Like Beer song. It's coming this week. I spoke to the Gregory brothers earlier today.
That's great.
Unbelievable that I spoke with the Gregory brothers earlier, but they said
this weekend, blow up iTunes.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's going to destroy.
It's way too late. I mean, I have no idea why they didn't get that out like the next day, but whatever, it's up.
They didn't capitalize on that one.
It's coming.
But Bed Intruder is still one of my favorites.
He's eating out your grandma. I like the Charlie Sheen ones they did too, and then they did
winning.
They did the good one with Trump, some of the good stuff with Trump, and that when he like beat up Jeb Bush, that was funny. They did a good one with Weird Al right before the election, though. Real good song with Weird Al. That was great. Those guys are awesome. Can't fucking wait, man. It's fucking crazy.
I know.
Dude, I'm not wearing pants right now. I'm not wearing pants right now, everybody. If you want my show to continue, make sure you guys whenever we're live, just show the love with donations, super chats, regular donations. All of the stuff's listed down below, or use the super chat function, or become a patron on my Patreon. Download the app. It's free for the app. You can cancel anytime. It's 30 hours of bonus podcasting, downloads, songs, everything, all on my Patreon. You can speak to me on Patreon. There's a bunch of shit. Tons of people are signing up. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. We have 350 patrons over there. It's the largest amount we've ever had. It's just been climbing and doing very well, very steady. And so I hope you guys come over to Patreon. I put up Morning Madness earlier, and I'm putting up another one later. And Jake, go ahead with whatever that was.
I know we're up against it here, but a couple things, you know, because we got Evolution coming next weekend. Ivory, Molly Holly have been officially confirmed for the first ever all-women's pay-per-view.
Shit, yeah. Gamer Dojo, thanks for the sub.
Also, we're here to confirm that Alexa Bliss is finally back up to, you know, fighting standard. She's been cleared to compete fully now. She's been doing, you know, mostly all promo work. She started working live events last weekend onward, so she will be able to compete fully. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, they had worried about some of the injuries. Kevin Owens posted a picture before today of him, you know, with both legs wrapped up. He said he got the buy one, get one deal for leg surgery.
The guy that wrote I'm a Real American also wrote the old school song Hang On Sloopy.
That's great.
Man, talk about random
Gorilla
facts.
Strong.
Gorilla Strong becoming a $5 shit bum. Thank you, Gorilla Strong. Yeah, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens looked like a fucking mummy on Twitter.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Poor guy.
Jesus.
Wishing him the best of luck. People saying he got jealous of his best friend Sammy, since he had surgery. He had to go ahead and copy him. So.
Did you see that
best of luck to him?
Did you see Mia Yim got signed?
Yes.
Wow.
Very happy about that.
That's exciting
That
too.
is awesome for her, man.
Not
Mia
so
Yim.
exciting is that we got Alicia Fox, Billy Kay, Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, Peyton Royce, Mandy Rose, Asuka, Tamina, Tori Wilson, Carmella, Sonya Deville, Lana, Naomi, and a few others have all been officially announced for the Battle Royal, and the winner earns a future Women's Championship match.
I don't mind that,
so
except
it's
for
basically
Asuka.
a Royal Rumble.
Okay. At the Women's Evolution. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
at Evolution. So WWE announced this on Twitter. So it's basically takes the place of the Royal Rumble match, because now whoever wins gets a shot at the winner of their choosing.
I mean, I don't mind that except for Asuka being in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
did you say,
unfortunately,
wait a minute.
she's going for something.
She's in it? Asuka's in it? Asuka's going to win.
Yeah, Asuka's in it.
The others kind of make
sense. They're going to have
sense,
some
like-
legends in there as well.
Dude, you know
There's also
they're
a
back there
good
like, just
piece
scream and
talking
act
about-
crazy, Asuka. Scream and act crazy. Oh, they have her in the Tajiri role.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, Asuka is Tajiri.
No, I know.
All she needs is the mist.
You're not wrong, sadly.
They might give it to her. Watch.
Yeah. There's also a big, bit of hubbub saying, should Alexa Bliss lose at WWE Evolution? People are going back and forth. A lot of people think that she has no chance against Trish Stratus. So they're saying the goddess of WWE has really made a great impact, and despite her eating disorder, she hasn't given up her dreams to become the top WWE superstar in the women's division. It speaks volumes about her endurance. And Trish has been trying to hype the match, but it's certainly Alexa that made it really connect with fans.
Yeah.
And, she's done her best to sell the match and really build it in this angle, which I believe is true. I really feel like Alexa has carried it on the mic.
But there's no reason for Bliss and James to win.
I get it, but what do they get out of, what does Trish and Lita get from?
It's just a nostalgia thing to make everybody cheer. I mean,
yep, exactly.
I mean, Mickey James is going to eat the pin probably, so.
Possibly, but.
I mean, it would be nice. It would be interesting if they seemed like they were going to win, and then Alexa and Mickey like bloodied one of them outside. They won't do that. By bloodied, I mean, well, never mind.
I'd rather watch YouTube than the WWE product.
Thank you, Casey Rose. You know what, Casey Rose? I mean, that is said by almost everybody, all of us.
I hate to say this, the only reason I'd see Mickey and Alexa win, and I really want to roll my eyes at this, is if they introduce a women's tag title.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but even that, I mean, at least then they're working towards something.
Yeah,
right. That's my
so I don't hate on that idea, but a pin from Trish, they said here, would baffle Alexa as she would try to call out Trish, who is still not responding to the Rumble. A lot of it is just. It's a messy situation, honestly, because it hurts the new
Dig
talent.
up Nicole Bass's corpse and put her in Evolution.
Oh my God! Oh, dude, Gorilla Strong, dude. Somebody just said that. Somebody sent me a tweet yesterday with Nicole Bass Ghost versus China. Oh, so fucked up, dude.
Oh, no,
so fucked up. But you know what? It was funny.
Poltergeist versus the Demon.
Gorilla, thank you, man. Those two were beasts. Certainly, China was the more, talented. But Nicole was fun. At least she was fun on Howard Stern, at least.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gorilla Strong.
Nicholas, who was the former Raw Tag Team Champion, the 10-year-old kid there that won it with Braun Strowman at Mania, he sent out a congratulatory tweet to The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus. He said, congrats to The Bar for winning the tag team titles, SmackDown titles at SmackDown 1000. You guys couldn't do it at Mania, just saying. I thought that was fun. To see him just get one over on them made me chuckle.
That's pretty damn funny.
Also, I know we haven't mentioned this much, but Starcade's coming back
again.
I hope they put it on the network.
Yeah,
will it be televised this time?
I know, and the match is announced so far that I've seen is Rey Mysterio is going for the United States Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. So. Rey Mysterio will take on Nakamura for the U.S. Championship at Starcade.
Mexican and Japanese person fighting for the U.S. belt. Awesome.
Yeah. We have more matches and lists of performers here, but nothing about it being televised on the network. Right now, we're getting a steel cage match for the WWE titles, so it's going to be Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Now, this takes place after Crown Jewel.
Now,
so, is this a spoiler? You know, like Crown Jewel is November what, 2nd? I know the card is always subject to change, but does that mean that Daniel Bryan is definitely losing to AJ?
What date is it at?
November 24th.
That's a Saturday. Is that
Saturday, November 24th?
Hold on, let me look up something real fast. Oh, that's after Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So a lot of shit can go down in between.
That's the thing too. So I mean, AJ could always win it back, but it's just these are likely the matches we'll get. So
why the fuck don't they actually show it on network then?
6 a.m. here in the UK. Good work, guys. Keep it up.
Hey, what's up, Why Hate? Thank you, man, for the super chat, bro. I'm just running to go pee real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Hey, Why Hate? Thanks, man. I seen you in the chat. I called this out a little bit for you tonight. Thanks, man.
Joe, really quick before you disappear. You asked the stats last week why Society has them here. Right now, AJ Styles, you know, if you said when's he going to break the record. So in the stats, January 15th, he'll tie the record at 434 days. So January 16th, he'll break it at 435. If he loses the belt at the Rumble 11 days later, he'll be the WWE champion for 446 days.
Shit.
So January 16th is when he'll beat CM Punk's record.
mean, at that point, they're probably going to have to keep it till Mania.
That's what I'm thinking, but it certainly seems like they're going to go ahead and have him hold on to the title to break CM Punk's record.
Yeah.
We're also getting at Starrcade a steel cage match as well for the women's championship, Charlotte versus Becky.
Oh, I meant to mention this about Starrcade.
At Evolution, and then they're going to fight again on SmackDown, and then they're going to fight at Starrcade. Come on.
So I remember there's two things about Starrcade I forgot to mention. Now, one, what did you say the date was for Starrcade?
Saturday, the 24th.
Okay, so it
and
could
this
still
is in
air.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well, nobody's going to see them at Starrcade. It doesn't matter then, you know. Really.
Well, here's the thing, and I remember reading about this a couple of weeks ago because I heard they were bringing back Starrcade. Was they are doing the padded ringside seats, like for like the front row, which they only do for televised shows like TVs. Network specials and pay-per-views because the price goes ridiculously up. The second thing is Becky Lynch may not have there's a potential spoiler. I don't know if I want to spoil anything, but there's a potential chance that Becky might lose the title soon.
Yeah, I had heard that as well, that they had possibly changed some of the plans. So
so that might change things up. Supposedly, I won't go into too much detail other than the fact that, well, fuck it. She's supposedly she's supposedly had a minor injury that she was working on or like kind of like powering through, and it might be worse than they think. I think she's getting evaluated this week.
Yeah, I had heard that. She also injured her jaw, you know, at the previous show. So yeah. So
wow, I didn't know that.
It only made it worse. But
that spear was fucking nuts. If you go back and like watch like the aftermath,
Charlotte her jaw was injured before the spear, and then she.
I thought it was after.
Oh. No, she wrestled that night last week with her jaw already injured.
Fuck.
Her jaw was injured from, you know, the show beforehand. So with what was that, Hell in a Cell?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, sure. So her jaw was injured at Hell in a Cell, and then going through the Titantron, you know, screen there, she injured it worse. And then she also has a different injury that's causing her issues as well. So.
Damn, that's not good news. I don't know what they're going to do there. I don't know what the injury is, but I mean, they could, I suppose they could have Charlotte do something and then get the belt back and
then make Charlotte a heel.
But they're still painting Becky as the heel big time, so it's like, what?
It's very, very, very convoluted and confusing. I wouldn't go see this show though for Starrcade. Like, you know, previously it would seem like a must watch. This is. You're getting a Cincy street fight. It says Braun Strowman and Dolphin Drew are taking on the Shield. Elias has a special concert with Ric Flair. That's the only thing I would want to see. That's it. But then we have the New Day versus the Bar, Rey Mysterio and Nakamura, Charlotte versus Becky, and Samoa Joe versus AJ. So we've seen all of these dozens of times. Yeah, it is dual branded. It also says we'll see Finn Balor, Alexa Bliss, The Miz, Rusev, Sasha Banks, Bobby Lashley.
Why not put it on the network? I mean, I know you're right. It's not. I remember the card from last year. It was like a SmackDown only. It was much better.
I think they had the Hardys on there as well. I think there were a few Raw stars.
Let me take a look. I want to look what the last year's card was.
Somebody brought up if we talked about Punishment Martinez. We did. He's a guy too with a weird body. He's like the mini Great Khali, or like a bigger Shinsuke. He's got a very strange body build. So I mean, I think he could be used very well on NXT. It's just always concerning when a guy like that goes to the main roster. But him versus Aleister Black in NXT or something could be a badass match. So
yeah, that could be very good if they take him and put him with the right opponent with the right pacing. I think it could be very interesting.
Hamp Hampton, thanks for subbing to the channel, man. We're having a subscription party now. Drink up, bitches.
Trying to get to all the smaller stories here. I mean, this is a big story, but as of right now, it's still too soon. But from what we're seeing backstage rumblings, it says that this will likely be the year the Undertaker actually retires at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
so
sure.
He'll go into the Hall of Fame. I know we've heard it a dozen or so times.
Yeah.
But from what we're reading lately, it kind of seems to line up a little bit more than previously.
He'll be a fucking floating head in the jar from Futurama.
I don't know if you remember this. I mean, I said he'd retire this year. I knew it.
You did. You absolutely
years ago.
did.
But
you
he's
said for
got
35 about 2 years ago.
He has got to retire this year because he just can't do it now. It's literally at the point where he can't. They got the match last year only with John Cena because it was so quick. We said that. We were like, oh,
2 minute and 40-second match, right?
And he was winded in that.
Yeah, and plus he's been doing more this year. Normally it's just Mania to Mania. I mean, he's done. He did Super Showdown. He's doing Crown Jewel. He might do more. So
he said that there was certain things that he wanted to do before he retired. He wanted to have a match with Kane one last time.
Want to work on my golf swing.
He said there were certain bucket list checkpoints that he wanted to hit, and so far he's hitting all of them. One of them was rumored to be a match with Shawn. That's happening. Another one was to work with Kane again. That's happened and going to happen again. Obviously,
or it could just be him tagging with him. To be honest,
well, that's what he's saying. He wanted to work with his brother. As the brother to Destruction.
Will never fight my brother Kane.
So they hear the Undertaker and Batista are the two marquee names for the Hall of Fame induction. Batista, though, is up in the air because he might have a match with Triple H. It still depends. But they're building that to be one of the highlights of WrestleMania 35.
Okay.
And then John Cena talks the truth about his career and his future with WWE. So, I mean, Cena was talking with Wrestling Inc. here. I believe they gave the quotes. And he goes ahead and he says that I'm old. I'm 41. Performing 310 times a year isn't what's best for my health overall. I want to be able to run on the streets at 80 years old instead of hobbling around. I'm at a point in my life where I need to think long term. That doesn't mean I'm leaving the WWE. I'll never leave the WWE. It's my home. But I have to think about long-term health, and right now, this is probably the best play for me to be, he's saying part-time, basically.
I agree with him.
Because they were saying, how do you feel about a limited schedule? And that's what makes the most sense. You look at what he did so far this year, it's very, very limited.
I agree, man. He's done it all. I mean, at this point, what is he gonna, do? I mean, I think he should do this. Start grazing away, do movies and shit. Don't kill yourself anymore. There's no need to do it. Come back every once in a while for something here or there, and that's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah. He's earned that, man. I'm not even a big Cena fan, but he's just earned this. Just be done with killing yourself. I agree.
He tied Ric Flair's record, right? He never beat it.
Yeah, he tied it. He still hasn't beat it.
it.
I'm sure
he tied it. So I bet you they'll do that.
He still will probably beat it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that before he gets out of there.
I don't know.
If they do it, it's going to be still when he's kind of part time in a way.
Yeah,
no, I know.
I could certainly see them doing, even if it's something quick, like a Money in the Bank type cash-in win when they need him. But here's my point. So now Undertaker ends up retiring this year. John's pretty much on the outs. If they don't start really working hard here, how many? I mean,
this is the problem they've been having for fucking 5 years now.
But it's only getting worse. Brock was going back to UFC, and Shawn Michaels in all these radio and press materials that you're seeing going around. Triple H looks pissed and he's psyched and he's leaning into the camera. Oh yeah, and Shawn's there just like, moping.
Yeah.
He looks miserable. He looks so miserable. It's so noticeable. Let me see if I have the picture. I'll show you one of them. Like the look on his face is.
He's like, I need money.
Awful.
By the way, I just sent you guys a funny video I remember seeing on Twitter. It's on YouTube. I just sent it to you in the chat. It's some guy doing Undertaker trolling, and it's him like making fun of the fact that he's barely making it to WrestleMania. And this guy does the impression of him. It's fucking super accurate. It's hilarious.
Oh man, this is as good as my Vince McMahon call to the Undertaker. Remember that?
Oh, that was good stuff.
Everybody calm down. My hip feels pretty good right now. Keep trolling. Trolling. My bad. Trolling. I'm a troll. Trolling. Well, I know y'all wanna know this right here. Is it R.I.P. or will I wrestle this year? All my creatures of the night, put your hands in the air. Sing rest in peace to the dead man, yeah. On Raw 25, I retired that bitch. Left my jacket and hat in Orlando and shit. But Big Evil's ready. Cena, come get me. Spin that Kid Rock track up. Let's my backside. No, I'm not. I'm trolling so hard. I'm done. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. The dead man is gone. Badass is not. I'm here for my WrestleMania spot. Keep trolling. Now. Keep trolling.
Wait till the end.
Keep trolling. It's a bad idea. You bitch. I'm kidding, I like you. I'm retired. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm gonna wrestle next year. Maybe. Yeah. Classic Taker troll job.
This is like Jesse Ventura being like, I might run for president. I might not. We don't know. Who actually knows what I'm gonna do? Maybe I'll run. Anyway, the ACDs of wrestling cocks. So with that,
so good.
Good song, man. Yeah, maybe go check that out. Give him a view. Cause that's funny. Where's the fucking? Well, we should. Well, I'll end with Taker.
I'm coming back. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm retired. I'll wrestle next year.
I'm gone now. I'm back. What? This was what Undertaker should have told Vince McMahon. All right, should we get out of here? Anything else you guys wanted to say? We get out of here.
I'm good.
All right, I'll hang up.
That was it. Yeah. You know, the only thing I had left was that former Tom Casello said that he was not impressed with Ronda's promo on Raw.
Well, I like Ronda's promo.
Why the?
I thought it was really good.
What the hell was he impressed with? Because the other promos were worse.
Yeah, no shit.
He said, I'm so grateful they regurgitated yet another women can't be successful unless they sleep their way to the top promo to remind us how much work still needs to be done.
Yeah, whatever.
I understand what he's trying to get across, but...
Yeah, somebody's an SJW retard.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, the other promos they did were so bad. Like, I'll take that any day, as cheap as it might have been. They had to run down the list of what the fans were thinking. I thought it was kind of brilliant for what they were doing to connect with the fans. Everything the fans are saying, Ronda said it. So
yeah,
whatever. I don't know that guy.
And she added a bit more than AJ.
That was the most one of the most. It's the most exciting thing that happened all night, almost.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What a douche hole, dude! That guy doesn't get laid. That guy's going home to a dog's asshole.
Maybe.
So, by the way, Connor from OKFabe, check him out on YouTube at OK or youtube.com/OKFaber, which is OKFabe on YouTube, at OKFabe on Twitter. Jake is at Countdown Ended on Twitter. I'm at Corrupted Pod on Twitter, at Corrupted POD on Twitter for me. And that is it. We'll see you next week for Out of Nowhere again. Next week we'll do it on YouTube again. We'll see. Try it again. We'll see what's going on. Out of Nowhere next week, 125 episodes. It's crazy. See you tomorrow night, 10 p.m. for Thursday Night Throwdown. And then Friday night, monetize this, and I'm getting married Saturday. And that'll be fun.
I got to say I do.
All right. I don't. No, I'm just kidding. I do. All right. I'm going to hang up on you guys.
Thanks to JD for calling in. We really appreciate
it. I asked him to call.
Thanks for JD, Jake DeMarco, to be here.
Yeah, the real JD was here. I asked him to come. He didn't. He said he didn't say anything, but he did respond on Twitter for some reason. All right. Goodbye, guys.
Y'all
stay sexy.
Good night. Mwah. Thank you to Jake and Connor for the help. Appreciate that as always. Here's how we end it. What The Undertaker should have told Vince McMahon.
Hello. Hello, Mark. Mark, I've got a great idea. Vince, I'm gonna be honest with you.
The Red Sox are in trouble.
I'm in the middle of masturbating. Well, understandable, Mark, but I've got something kind of big. I want you to wrestle Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. Well, Vince, that sounds like a hell of a plan. And I'm going to kindly oblige. Well, Mark, that's great. You know, that's great. But there is something else. You see, I want the streak to end at WrestleMania 30. Vince, call me back when you're not being a douchebag. No, Mark, wait. Mark, I wasn't joking. I want you to drop the streak to the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Now, Vince, I've known you for a lot of years. This sounds completely retarded to me. But if you want me to do it, Vince, I will do it. That's great, Mark. I knew you'd be on board. Mark, and that's why I went ahead before, and I already told Triple H that he's going to do it. It's going to shock everyone. People in the crowd, people at home, you're gonna build up Brock Lesnar to be the most dominant champion that WWE has ever seen. Vince, while I do agree to do the deed, you have to do something for me. Oh, you name it, Mark, you name it. Anything for The Undertaker. Vince, I want you to suck my dick.